Bay's future is in the hands of Steve Young, who threw his first touchdown pass of the season last week. But if the Bucs are to celebrate today, they must first stop the high-stepping Eric Dickerson, put more consistent pressure on the quarterback, and score their first fourth-quarter points of the season. We're live in Anaheim, where Ram owner Georgia Frontieri has a last-minute huddle with defensive coach Larry Brooks as the Rams get set to host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Welcome to warm and sunny Anaheim Stadium, and it is beach weather here in Southern California. The natives call it the Santa Ana condition, warm winds blowing off the desert, but it shouldn't affect either one of these two teams because they are warm weather teams. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Wayne Walker, working along with the ex-Chicago Bear Johnny Morris. Johnny, you think of Tampa Bay and the Rams, a lot of people think mismatch, but I know we don't feel that way. Tampa Bay is, I think, a young team on the upswing right now. Steve Young has helped them some at quarterback the past couple of weeks. Their running game is ranked 3rd in the NFC, and that's been without James Wilder for 2 weeks. He's back and healthy now, but still, when you consider running, you got to consider the Rams and Eric Dickerson.
Anytime you have Eric Dickerson, you have a good running game, and the Rams have that. But the key today is going to be Steve Dills at quarterback, substituting for the injured Steve Bartkowski. Dills came in last week when they'd already lost the game, but he did throw 3 touchdown passes and did very well. Is going to start today. But the Rams, as you know, are good on defense. The problem is they have some injuries there. We'll see how they respond to that. But as I said, the key is going to be Steve Dills, his first start since 1983. You might not believe me, but this is going to be one heck of a football game.
It should be, Johnny, and we talked about the weather, and you take a look for yourself. The temperature right now, 90 degrees. It's a little bit warmer than that. They said it was 96 degrees. Down on the field about 20 minutes ago, and rising low humidity, though, which will help both teams. And there's some wind out there, which will help cool them down, too. It's gusting and swirls in this stadium. The coin toss was just made by Pat Haggerty at midfield. Tampa Bay has won the toss. They, of course, will receive. The series record between these two teams, the Rams lead by a score of 5-2, but 4 games have been decided by 4 points or less. Tampa Bay plays the Rams exceptionally tough.
And of course, I think one of the keys will be for the Los Angeles Rams, if they can establish that running game, it'll be tough on Tampa Bay. But the key in this football game, I think, is that you have a new kind of a Tampa Bay football team. We're going to see their offense out there. You have a quarterback who's mobile and Steve Young. You have James Wilder back, but now you have Nathan Wansley, who's a good running threat, and you have Springs. They can do a lot of different things than they used to do. Wilder was a great running back. He would get all the yards, but they were a one-dimensional team. They are now a 2- or 3-dimensional team, and that is why I think we see an improved Buccaneer team. They had a tough loss last week, as you know.
Well, you'll be glad to hear this one, Johnny. The Bears game's a final. Your old teammates continue to crank it up, 23-0 this afternoon over the Minnesota Vikings. Phil Freeman is one of the big men for Tampa Bay. Back there with Ivory Soley, Mike Lansford will put things in motion for us. He will kick off for the Rams. The Rams 3-1 on the season. Tampa Bay 1-3, their first win 2 weeks ago against the Detroit Lions. There's Lansford, and we're underway. It'll be Freeman at about the 7-yard line. Out across the 30 to the 32 or 33-yard line. So Tampa Bay will start with Steve Young at quarterback in good field position. When he gets out there, he'll be looking at a rugged Ram defensive unit. Up front, Sean Miller, Charles DeJournay, and Reggie Doss, veterans and solid. Outside linebackers, Owens and Wiltshire are the key there.
And Jim Lofton is getting the start at an inside linebacker spot. The Buccaneers may go at him. He's not very big.
Roy Irvin will not start at cornerback today for the Rams, but he will play in the nickel. We'll get to those changes in a moment. Carter in motion. And this is Wilder. He'll pick up a couple over on the right side before he's brought down.
So that's James Wilder's first carry in quite a while. He had that bruised sternum, but he is back, and as you know, he's a load, tough to bring down. And you throw in Wansley and you throw Springs in with him. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to run the ball well, I think, the rest of the year.
Well, he's got fresh legs, too. He's had a couple weeks off, and they said he had that bruised sternum, but he could run some.
7 down, 7 yards to go.
We'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Chicago-Minnesota game. We are just underway here at Anaheim Stadium. Second play of the game for the Buccaneers. Steve Young tosses it out on the screen for James Wilder, but it's incomplete. That was the second offensive play for Tampa Bay, who started their offensive possession on the 32-yard line after a kickoff return by Phil Freeman. So that's where we are now. Third down, about 7 yards to go. The Tampa Bay offense, Steve Young, Ron Springs, James Wilder in the backfield. House, Carter, and Giles are the receivers. Up front, Marvin Powell, Yarno, Grimes, Farrell, a good one, and so is Ron Heller on the right side. Nickel defense in there now for Los Angeles. Third down and 7. The ball is on the 35-yard line. Farrell, Carter in motion, and then back again to the top of the screen. Young to throw. It's a dash. He'll pull up. And it's incomplete on the sideline. That was Leroy Irvin, who did not start this game because he has a shoulder injury, a pinched nerve, but he made a fine defensive play there in the nickel situation, and that's the only time we'll see him out there this afternoon is when the Rams are in their nickel. So that'll bring up a fourth down and a punting situation now for Tampa Bay. It'll be Frank Garcia, who is standing at about his 20-yard line. Mickey Sutton, number 49, first-year player, former USFLer, is at his 30. Garcia with a 42-yard average this year. Gets a high boomer. Sutton will take it at about the 27-yard line, break one tackle, and get near the 35 before he's brought down. A 38-yard kick and a 7-yard return. Quarterbacking the Rams today, making his first start since 1983 is Steve Dills, his first start in a Rams uniform. And the defensive faces will be John Cannon, David Logan, and Tyrone Keys up front. That's a change.
Yes, he's starting in place of Holmes. Holmes has a sore knee. The same linebackers that they usually start, a good set of linebackers. Ricky Eastman is going to start at one of the corners in place of Jeremiah Castile.
Dills has Barry Redden back there with him, and of course Mr. Dickerson, and it's Dickerson breaking tackles across the 45 out near midfield. Dickerson with enough yardage on that first carry to pick up the first down.
Well, it didn't take long for the Rams to establish the running game. As far as the first play from scrimmage, you're going to see a missed tackle by Ivory Sully, 44, as he gave him the old stiff-legged, and Eric Dickerson with a big gain.
14-yard pickup. Places the ball at about the 48-yard line now. First and 10 for the Rams. Two-back offense. Dickerson again. Again, good yardage. Out to about the 45-yard line, a pickup of 6 or 7. Let's take a look at the Rams now offensively. Bills at quarterback, as we mentioned. Ron Brown, Bobby Duckworth, and David Hill, the tight end. Those are the receiving unit. Up front, a veteran unit except for a rookie, Tom Newberry at left guard, in there for Kent Hill, who went to Houston in the Everett deal. Second down and 3 now. The ball is on the 45. Brown in motion. The handoff, crossbuck action to Redden, and he'll have the first down across the 40 near the 35-yard line of the Buccaneers. Misdirection that time for the Rams. Some finals this afternoon. Cleveland 27, Pittsburgh 24. New England 34-7 over troubled Miami Dolphins.
Boy, they don't have a defense anymore, do they? And look at Washington, a final over New Orleans. Final score 14-6 in favor of the Redskins.
First and 10 now from the 36-yard line as the Lions get past Houston. Houston won their opening game of the year and now have gone down in successive weekends. First and 10 for the Rams. Steve Dills at quarterback. Dickerson again trying to get wide. Ivory Sully misses a tackle, and Dickerson battles across the 30 near first down yardage again. He's got it cranked up, Johnny.
He certainly does. He was ready to play a football game. And you're going to see a good block by Barry Redden. He comes in. He has to take on the linebacker, Washington. Now, Redden's 30, the lead back here. It always helps when the other back can get a good block for you, as we see it in kind of super slow motion. There's the block there on Washington, and he tied him up, and Dickerson went on for the big yardage as the Rams going right down the field, have not thrown a pass yet.
2nd down and 1 now. Dickerson picked up 9 yards on that carry. David Hill, the tight end, in motion. The toss to Dickerson. Behind a block from Hill. And Jackie Slater on the right side has enough for the first down before he's stopped by number 57, the outside linebacker, Keith Browner.
Pretty good play by Browner, because he had David Hill coming right at him, and he threw him aside and made the tackle, but not before Dickerson was able to get the first down. So the Tampa Bay defense is being tested right off. And, of course, if you establish a running game like this, as you know, Wayne, and go right down the field, boy, pretty soon the passes are going to be wide open also.
1st and 10. The ball is on the 22-yard line. That's Redden. He struggles forward for maybe 3 or 4. David Logan slides over from nose tackle on the hit. The Rams, of course, in past years have used a one-back set, much like Tampa Bay did with James Wilder, but this is the first year that they have gone to 2 backs since John Robinson took over 4 years ago, and it's Redden back there, and he's a quality back himself.
Well, that's what they're doing on this drive. They're mixing Redden in with the drive. It isn't necessarily Dickerson.
2nd and 6. There's a toss again to Dickerson. Redden with the block out in front. Dickerson cuts it. He's across the 5 and near the 4-yard line. He'll have the first down before Ricky Eastman. And Ivory Sully brought him down.
You got to give some credit to Irv Pankey and to Redden. Redden makes his block there on Washington. Pankey got Tyrone Keys down, and Dickerson is so good at watching these blocks and turning up the field. Watch Pankey. He's 75 out there. He's got Keys, and he throws the block right there and takes actually 2 men down as Dickerson turns up the field and heads north-south right towards the goal line.
49 yards for him already. The ball is on the 4. 1st and goal for the Rams. Dickerson trying to get wide, but can't. Jeff Davis comes over from his inside linebacker spot and stops Dickerson after about a 2-yard pickup on that one.
Good clutch tackle by Davis. That time Sully Swope got across the line of scrimmage there and kind of forced him a little bit wider, and that was the reason that Jeff Davis was able to come up there and stop the Rams temporarily. But they're down to the 1.5-yard line, and you said he has about 50 yards already. This game has just barely started.
The ball is just across the 2-yard line, about a yard and a half perhaps from the end zone. 2nd down. Dickerson, did he get in? He was close to breaking the plane on the goal line, but no signal. So it'll be short and bring up a 3rd down situation for the Rams. Dickerson came into this game leading the NFC in rushing ahead of Gerald Riggs and Walter Payton. 450 yards. He's now up around the 500-yard mark for the day. Had 58 yards last week against the Eagles. His buddy Ryan's 46th defense there did a pretty good job on him. 3rd and 1. 3rd and goal from there. Dickerson's the tailback, but Redden will get it. And the Rams have 6. A very impressive first drive by the Los Angeles Rams featuring Dickerson and Redden.
And the quick handoff, and watch the defensive line. Everybody's down on the ground that time. There was a complete submarine by the Rams offensive line and got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down low, and Redden was able to smash into the end zone as they faked Dickerson out to the sideline. So that was duck soup for the Rams right down the field. No trickery, no passes, just ran it right down the Buccaneers' throat.
Mike Lansford to try the extra point. Put the 7-point on the board. And he does. So with 8:04 left in the first quarter, the Rams strike early. They're out in front, 7-0. The big difference between these two ball clubs and their success has been on the defensive side.
As you can see, defensively, the Buccaneers give a lot more yardage rushing and some more on passing. points allowed, in every statistic, actually, the defense doesn't compare to the Ram defense. Therein lies the difference of these two teams coming into the game.
So now it'll be the Tampa Bay offense against that Rams defense. Mike Lansford will kick it for the Rams. Phil Freeman back deep again at about the 4. In behind his wedge and then breaks to the outside, but doesn't make the 20-yard line. About the 19. Good special teams coverage by the Rams. Number 49, Mickey Sutton on the hit.
So now we'll see what Tampa Bay offensive versatility can do. Now, they didn't do too much on the first possession, but Steve Young, who used to play here in Los Angeles in the old USFL, says he's kind of happy to be back in Los Angeles, would like to have a good game here.
He's happy to see some people in the stands.
That's right.
They didn't have many with the old LA Express. Ron Springs and James Wilder in the backfield. This is Springs trying to get outside, and King. Vince Newsom, number 22, the free safety and one of the good hitters in the league, one of the good young safeties that's coming on the horizon. I'll tell you, we'll see some good hits from the safeties out there today. Newsom will hit you on the Rams side, and so will Ivory Sully of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No gain on that last play, so it's 2nd and 10 now from just about the 20-yard line for Tampa Bay, their second offensive possession of the afternoon. Carter in motion. This is Wilder. Flags are down. Preliminary movement, I think, on the left side of the Tampa Bay offensive line. Johnny Johnson making the hit for the Rams on that one. But a flag was down before the snap.
I think Marvin Powell, the left tackle, moved a little bit too soon. He's been out with a sore knee, so he might be a little bit rusty, but I think it was Powell. But you really shouldn't indict somebody until you're sure. But he was one of the guys who moved anyway.
Given a choice, the Rams would probably decline this one since they have got the ball carrier.
Illegal motion, number 74, offense, declined, 3rd down.
That was Pat Haggerty, who will handle things for us out on the field this afternoon. 3rd down situation, 3rd and 10. Lehman Bennett.
Boy, they lost a tough game last week. They played Atlanta tough the entire game, and then a couple of key plays. They couldn't quite pull it out and lost in overtime. Big play for Young here.
6 defensive backs in there now for the Rams. They 4 down linemen, 1 linebacker, and 6 defensive backs. Draw play to Wilder, and he won't get much. As the Rams converge nicely on defense and hold him to a gain of about a yard or two. Nolan Cromwell up from his strong safety spot.
Well, obviously the Buccaneers playing fairly close to the vest so far.
Well, they kind of almost had to with that kind of field position early in the game. They were going to throw. They would have to be careful with it. So they'll punt for the 2nd time. Mickey Sutton is back for the Rams. Frank Garcia to kick for the Buccaneers. Sutton is across midfield, standing on the Rams 40-yard line. 6:16 on the clock, and it's ticking. Rams lead 7-0 here in the first quarter.
It's a line drive. It's returnable.
Sutton across the 40 to the 45 and near midfield. Call it the 47, 48-yard line. A 41-yard punt, an 11-yard return, and the Rams will be in business from their own 47 when we return.
Hello, I'm Leona, your automatic teller. Can I help you with a student loan?
No, a car loan, Leona. Fast problem.
A home improvement loan.
Aye.
An auto loan?
It's a General Motors car.
Between beeps, state your name, address, social security number.
Last week's game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Bart says he's ready. He says he's played hurt before, and he can go again right today if the Rams need him.
Well, I do feel better. It's been a miracle of sorts, I guess. You know, when I was walking off the plane on Sunday night, it didn't look too hopeful for this weekend. But you know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling it's still sore, but you know, I've played with a lot of pain, and you know, I think I can probably strap it on and go.
Hill's out for David Hill, the tight end, and he drops it at the 48-yard line on a 1st and 10 play for the Rams. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 now for the Rams on their own 48-yard line. Dills came in last week's game against Philadelphia and had a pretty good day.
Yeah, he certainly did. David Hill has played more NFL games, had more NFL starts than anybody on this football field. He doesn't drop too many passes. He wants to get into television. How about that?
Like his brother.
Yes.
Our colleague Jim Hill. Double tight ends in there now for the Rams. 2nd and 10. Dickerson and Redden are the running backs. Redden goes in motion, and Dickerson takes the toss to the left, cuts it back, and is hit by Sully. And Dickerson gets across the 45-yard line near first down yardage, but he'll be a touch short. Boy, he can run. He can cut.
That time there was no pursuit from the middle of the line, if you noticed, and when he's cutting back, nobody's getting him from the inside. So the Ram offensive line, the interior, is really tying up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the linebackers are running too far to the outside, kind of overrunning the play as he cuts back.
Always going forward, too, when he's going down. At the end of his run, he really finishes off the run. 3rd down and 2. This will be Dickerson, and he has the first down. He showed his power at the run before, and then showed some nifty moves as he made a good adjustment right at the line of scrimmage on that one.
He has the great ability to cut. He's not like you call a darter, but he can cut back and keep going forward at the same time, if you know what I mean. He kind of flies his feet and just shifts a yard to the right or left and keeps on going. And with all that equipment on, too, he looks like the man from Mars, doesn't he? But he runs like crazy. He says he likes to take advantage of every piece of equipment. He wears it all. Extra heavy shoulder pads, hip pads. He's got a special face mask to protect his glasses.
1st and 10 now from the 40-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bills to throw. Plenty of time. Intended for Duckworth, and it's over his hands and out of bounds as Rod Jones, the rookie on the coverage, on the right side, had Duckworth in hand.
So the Rams are starting to throw the ball a little bit, but there was some pressure by Tampa Bay as Chris Washington put the blitz on. They didn't get there, but they were close.
Blitz 3 linebackers that time, Johnny.
Yeah, Chris Washington was the guy that was knocked down, got back up. So here's an upset. Look at this. Philadelphia Eagles and Buddy Ryan upset Atlanta 16-0. In fact, they shut them out.
2nd and 10 here now. This is Dickerson. He breaks it again. And they go all the way. He does. Touchdown Rams. A 40-yard touchdown effort by Eric Dickerson, and the Rams are in front 13-0.
Boy, they pulled the outside line as Lehman Bennett cannot believe what is happening here. As a 78, he throws the block there and just blasts back on Washington, and Dickerson hit the crease, takes off, and Ivory Sully missed the tackle, and Dickerson takes it in. Sully's got to be a little bit unhappy. He used to play for the Rams, doesn't like to miss tackles.
Mike Lansford will attempt to make it 14-0. 4:24 remaining still in the first quarter, and it is 14-0 as the kick is good. Eric Dickerson now 10 carries, 105 yards, and 1 touchdown already this afternoon. So with 4:24 left, the Rams are out in front, 14-0. With Johnny Morris, and look at those numbers. That's a day's work already, Johnny.
Oh, he's doing terrific. He only had 58 yards against the Eagles the entire game. We're not even through the first quarter. He's over 100 yards, and I just took out my computer. If he continued at this pace, he would end up with 513 yards rushing in this football game.
It's a possibility with that man, I'll tell you. Mike Lansford will kick off for the 3rd time in this young ball game for the Rams. Freeman, number 81, is deep for Tampa Bay at the goal line. The wind, which is gusting here, we mentioned that it was a Santa Ana condition here, which means gusting warm winds coming off the desert, temperature up in the high 90s here at the stadium. Well, Lansford had problems keeping the ball on the tee. You see it there. That'll help the players, though, that little bit of a breeze, and there's not much humidity, so they should handle it well. Lansford kick is taken by Freeman about 2 yards in the end zone, and he'll bring it out. He's at the 15. Had a hole, and then it closed up on him. He's across the 20 and out to about the 22-yard line before he stopped. Nolan Cromwell, the 21, was there on the hit.
Here's the Dickerson touchdown. You can see the 2 linemen. There's Hara and Jackie Slater, 78 with his block. But watch the old-fashioned straight arm that Dickerson gives to Sully. And, you know, Walter Payton's about the only player I see that uses a straight arm anymore. But Eric Dickerson is one of those that he took big advantage of it.
That was definitely a good straight arm. That was a major league straight arm right there.
That's what happens when you go high to make a tackle, too.
1st and 10 from the 23. Young Nathan Wansley is the lone running back there. Play action for Steve Young. He steps up, and he'll bring it down and out of there with it. He'll have enough for the first down as he shows you what he can do. 13-yard pickup, and a lot of people think that he could play running back in this league.
Well, he has terrific quick speed for the first 4 or 5 yards. He went on a little weightlifting program during the offseason, and you can tell it. He's got that strength in his legs, but he also has a lot of common sense. Here come the Rams converging, a triangle, and he hits the turf.
It was a 13-yard pickup. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Tampa Bay on the 36-yard line. Their first down of the game. Carter in motion. Wansley, the remaining back. Play action again. On a rollout is Young, and he'll run again. He'll pick up about 5 or 6 this time before he goes down. He broke a tackle back in his own backfield. That was the key.
Yes, Sean Miller almost had him. He came across the line of scrimmage here. You can see him, number 98, and it was just knocked out of the play, and only because Young is so quick. And he has that double threat, takes off down the field, slides into second, and this is what Steve Young is all about. They'd like him to be able to pass for a few more yards, which he will eventually. He hasn't got a strong arm, but he has an adequate arm.
Well, his coach said he thought he had an arm that was the equal of Joe Theismann or a Joe Montana. He doesn't have a Bartkowski gun. 2nd and 5 here. This is young Nate Wansley, and he'll have the first down. What a debut he had a couple of weeks ago against the Detroit Lions, making the start for James Wilder. He picked up 138 yards in that one. Had a 55-yard touchdown burst and a way to break into the NFL, and he had enough there to pick up the first down for Tampa Bay.
This is the guy I really like. I think he's got I think he should be playing all the time. They got to figure out a way to get Wilder and Wansley in there together. Now, Wilder didn't work out earlier this week. Lehman Bennett told us that you're going to see more of that. Of course, Springs will get
today.
his, yeah, won't see it today.
In the future. 1st and 10 now. The ball is on the 48-yard line. Carter in motion across the formation. Wansley again following behind his blockers and gets across the 50. Pick up about 3 or 4. Mel Owens making a hit from his outside linebacker spot. Wayne Walker and Johnny Morris at Anaheim Stadium, where the Rams lead 14-0. Barry Redden, a 1-yard touchdown run for the Rams with 8:04 left in the first quarter, made it 7-0. Then at 4:24 left, Dickerson shocked everyone here with a 40-yard touchdown run. Extra point was good, and that's where we are now, 14-0 with 1:30 and ticking on the clock.
Rick Mallory is one of the guards now for Tampa Bay.
2nd and 7. Toss to Wansley. He'll cut it up in, and he'll be short of the first down. He'll only pick up a couple. A final here, Cincinnati 34, Green Bay 28. The Packers are still winless.
0-5, Forrest Gregg has got to be tearing his hair out.
And looking for Doug Flutie, perhaps.
Yes. They've been talking with the Rams about that situation. They signed Chuck Fusina, said they're still interested in Flutie if the Rams' price will come down a little bit.
The Rams' price is a 2nd-round draft choice. 3rd and 6 from the 48. 3 wide receivers in there for Tampa Bay. Young in trouble, and he'll go down. Kevin Green, number 91, the designated pass rusher, the linebacker who was a down lineman in college, and they put him in there for his speed on a defensive end in nickel situations.
Yes, and Green will come from the left side of your screen, and there was penetration up the middle, too, and he really had no place to go. Got by Heller and made a heck of a play, and so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have to punt once again and then worry about Eric Dickerson and running it down their throats.
Johnny Johnson and Mickey Sutton deep. That was Kevin Green's 3rd sack of the season. Garcia to kick it. This will be Johnson signaling for a fair catch at about the 16-yard line. So the Rams will start their 3rd offensive possession from the 16. A 38-yard kick. No return. Rams special teams, of course, are missing a certain element without Henry Ellard being on their roster right now, Johnny.
Oh, that's quite a comparison, isn't it?
Contract problems, and Ellard is a real force.
And you can see they were 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in various coverages, and look at 1986. So they miss Ellard, no question about it.
1st and 10 Rams, 16-yard line. This is Dills to throw. He swings it out to Dickerson. Behind Newberry, the guard, and Dickerson almost breaks another one, but loses the ball, and Tampa Bay may have it. Kind of a one-man screen for Eric Dickerson out there behind the guard, Newberry, number 66. But Tampa Bay has it back. Craig Swope on the recovery. Number 41, the safety.
Well, that happened to Dickerson a couple of times in the Eagle game last week. He fumbled, but they weren't ahead at that time. Here is just a quick screen out there. He turns up the field. I mean, he is off and running to the races. And the hit, I'm not sure who got the hit on it, but it was Swope who recovered the ball. It looked like...
it was Eastman, Ricky Eastman, I think.
Eastman, 26, yes.
Got his hat right on the ball. Usually when the ball flies out like that, it means the helmet got on it. Watch it here and you'll see. And it's gone. 1st and 10 now for Tampa Bay on the 38-yard line of the Rams. This is Wansley. Across the 35, about to the 32-yard line. That brings us to the end of the first quarter. Here at Anaheim Stadium, the Rams leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 14-0.
Sometimes it's hard for a coach to tell a great runner like Dickerson how to do it, but you see the ball was on his right side facing the tackler, so when Eastman came in, the ball was susceptible to being jolted, and of course that's what happened. But take a look at this. This graphic is very crucial. The first 2 games, Tampa Bay was -8 in their turnover. In the last 2 games, they've been +6, and here was another one for them.
2nd and 5 now. Nathan Wansley, the remaining back for Tampa Bay. He'll take it up the middle. It'll be near first down yardage across the 30 to about the 29-yard line. This may bring up a measurement. The first 3 possessions of the afternoon for Tampa Bay. 3 plays and a punt, 3 plays and a punt, and then 6 plays. 1 first down so far in those first 3 possessions.
And it wasn't a planned first down. Remember, it was Steve Young on his scramble, so they haven't really got their offense untracked yet, and this is their opportunity to get back in this football game.
It's 3rd and about a yard. Springs back there now with Wansley in the backfield. But Young will take it himself, and he'll have the first down on a sneak.
Oh, boy, was that wide open.
He might have popped that.
Oh, he could have popped that because the Ram defensive line had a gap there, and a quarterback sneak was wide open. He didn't even have to dive. He could have run right on through there.
They said he was the fastest player on the squad when he was in college at BYU. So if he gets out there, he can do some damage. Ball is on the 28-yard line now. The Bucs trailing 14-0. Carter in motion. Young to throw. Plenty of time here, and he hits Carter. And Carter will have perhaps first down yardage, if not very close to it. Vince Newsom on the stop.
And plenty of time for him to throw. And you see he had pretty good zing on that ball as he waited for Carter to clear and just find the hole. He's looking left and then comes back to the right. Carter obviously a secondary receiver on that. And Young found him. Anybody who can complete 71% of your passes in college when he was at BYU got to be a pretty good thrower. They talk about not having a strong arm. You don't have to have a cannon arm. You just got to be able to, you know, how many of your passes are long ones, you know, and mostly in the intermediate range.
There's an NCAA record at 71% at BYU. 1st and 10 now. On the 17. Wansley, big hit.
Boy, Mark Giroux came through there like a runaway train.
Giroux leads the team in tackles, had 16 tackles last week against the Eagles. A nose tackle for 3 years at the University of Washington, was switched to linebacker his senior year, and really kind of basically still learning that spot.
Yes, they've had some injuries in those inside linebackers with Collins out and Eckern and those kind of guys, and Giroux has come through for him.
2nd and 9. Ball is on the 16-yard line. Young to throw with time for Jimmy Giles, and Giles has it across the 10 and near another Tampa Bay first down. Nolan Cromwell on the coverage.
The Buccaneers had really 2 receivers in the same spot, but they still got away with it. As Giles goes down, he dips to the outside. Nolan Cromwell on the coverage, and Giles makes a good catch. He's playing with kind of a sore hamstring muscle, so he's not quite at full speed, but he doesn't have to be at full speed to have enough speed to scare those defensive backs. He's very quick for a big tight end.
Had 12 catches coming into this game. That was tops on the team. Tampa Bay, you see, very efficient once they get inside the 20, but their problem is they haven't been there that much. 3rd down and 1 here for the first down. Wansley may have called for it.
It's going to be very close, but you got to give Wansley some credit. It was jammed up. He didn't try and dip the outside, maybe lose 2 or 3. He just put his head down and followed the lineman right through there, and he got pretty close.
We talked about who he reminded us of when we saw his game in Detroit, and I mentioned Stump Mitchell. I think you kind of agreed. Same kind of style.
He's only about 5'10", but he's put together. He's weighs a lot for that, about 195 pounds. As you look at a few scores here, San Francisco has an early lead. Looks like he may have gotten it.
Important measurement here for Tampa Bay. They appear to have it from.
Whoops.
No. There was a kink in the chain.
Well, the big decision for Lehman Bennett. What do? You're down 14-0. Do you settle for a field goal just to get on the board, or do you go for it and get yourself back in the football game? Looks like he's going to go for it. What the heck? You're 1-3. Should be 2-2. Actually, with what happened to him last week. So this will be a real confidence builder, because he's saying to that team, you can get it, go get it. One benefit is if they don't make it, it'd be a downer, but at least they would have the Rams backed up deep in their own territory.
It's 4th and 1. The ball is on the 8-yard line. Springs and Walmsley are the running backs. Young again on the keep.
I think he got it, and they've spotted that QB sneak, the kind of softness there in that middle of that Ram defensive line.
The Rams don't have a big offensive line, and they did pick it up. The Bucs are pretty strong up front offensively.
There's Lehman Bennett looking at the short list, and he's got a lot more to do with the calling of the plays this year.
He calls them. And he calls them. He doesn't wear that headset like most head coaches on the sideline talking to someone upstairs. He says he doesn't like all the noise that goes on in that.
3 tight ends now in for Tampa Bay. All the tight ends are in.
1st and goal from the 6. 10:42 remaining now in the first half. The 9th play of this drive right here. This is Walmsley trying to get a block from Powell and got nothing. Jim Laughlin, Johnny Johnson over. Good team defense that time by the Rams.
Yeah, Jim Laughlin came in from the inside. They're doing that little counter. See how he moves to the left and comes back? The Rams didn't bite. They didn't bite for it. And there's Laughlin, 57, who comes in from behind and makes sure of the tackle. And he used to play for Lehman Bennett. He played at Atlanta there for 3 years, and he's not very big, and he's playing an inside linebacker spot. He's the guy that we talked to him yesterday. You could tell he was nervous.
Making a start for Carl Eckern, who has got a problem. Eckern, the team captain, calls the defenses. Young to throw. Scrambling right. Again, to the sideline and out of bounds across the 5 at about the 4-yard line. He'll pick up about 4 before he goes out of bounds.
Well, that time what happened was that the receivers didn't spot Young going out on the roll, and they didn't come over to his direction. Some of the receivers are still going left. He only had 1 receiver over to the right, and you got to help the quarterback out. Now, he got an extra 3 or 4 yards here just because of his athletic ability. Laughlin pushed him out towards the sideline. So, big play, 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4, John Robinson in his 4th year as the head coach of the Rams, who's had him in the playoffs for 3 straight years. They're coming over from USC. 3rd and 4 for the score. Bootleg. Young to throw. May have room to get in, and does. Touchdown, Steve Young in Tampa. Improvising all the way. Changed his mind 3 times on that play, Johnny.
Yes, he had a receiver open at one point there, but decided to run it in. And Wiltshire, you're going to see 54 Wiltshire here on the other side of the field. He could have made the tackle, but he's so involved in his coverage here. As Young comes out, he's got him right where he wants him, pass or run. And Wiltshire's got his back turned. See, 54?
Yeah,
he didn't even see him coming. He's still on his coverage, and that's what a guy like Steve Young can do to you.
It's funny, though, because we talked to Wiltshire the other day, and he said that's one thing that he'd have to look out for. He'd have to come off the receiver a little bit earlier than normal because of Steve Young, but he didn't do it that time.
He's going to have to get eyes in the back of his head.
Igwe with the extra point, and Tampa is 7 behind now at 14-7. 9:43 remaining in the first half.
On this, you'll get a real good look at the wide open man, McGee, down in the end zone. See there? And then he decides to run, though.
We'll be back.
Distinctive.
Steve Young adding another dimension to the Tampa Bay offense. As we mentioned at the top of this telecast, that was his 3rd rushing touchdown in 3 weeks after taking over the starting job. Donald Igwe will squib one down to the Rams, where it's taken by one of the up men at about the 20-yard line, down to the 35. Mike Gooman, the former running back who gets most of his time now on special team coverage, was the man who ended up with the ball. College football next Saturday on CBS. Those of you in Florida will see Michigan State against the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan 4-0 now on the year. And those of you on the West Coast will see Arizona and UCLA live at 2:30 Eastern Time. That's on CBS next Saturday. First and 10 now for the Rams, 36-yard line, and that's Redden breaking. He'll have the first down.
Very red the ball carrier.
Before he's stopped by Jackie Walker, a linebacker who's in over on the left side now for Browner. Walker, a rookie out of Jackson State, a great athlete. 6'5", 245 pounds, played 2 years of basketball at Jackson State. He's the kind of size you'd like over on that left side. His arms up. Causes problems for the quarterback. First and 10. Play action. Bills all day. Gets it to Dickerson, who breaks another tackle. Ivory Sully finally forces him out of bounds, but it's another first down. A 16-yard pickup. Steve Dills to Eric Dickerson.
And it was Chris Washington missing it. This is just a little short pass off the play action. And you'll see Dickerson now. Chris Washington reaches for him because he's such a good runner. He doesn't go by his normal fundamentals. Good block by David Hill. And finally, he's knocked out of bounds by Sully. But you've got to make a tackle. This Sully having to take on Eric Dickerson, and Dickerson gets the shoulder down right at the last second. Boy, he is tough aside from being agile. But Chris Washington's the guy who really goofed it, because you can't hit a guy like Dickerson high, right?
No, Dickerson got under him that time anyway. I tell you, he just finishes off those runs no matter where it is on the field. First and 10 now. Rams, Tampa Bay 36. The toss back to Dickerson again. He breaks another tackle. Look out. They won't catch him. It is something. 36 yards for his second touchdown of the day. He's gone 40 yards and 36 yards for 2 touchdowns, but there's a flag down back at about the 35-yard line. And they're bringing it back.
Boy, a little illegal procedure there. Somebody moved. Boy, that can be costly. You take away a touchdown like that, you take the wind right out of the sails.
Illegal formation, number 75, not up on the line.
Oh, what a technical penalty. I mean, if he wasn't on the line, he wasn't on the line. But that's the kind of penalties that a coach, he just dies on that. 75 is Pankey.
Irv Pankey over on the right side of your screen. And now, those tackles will usually back up when it's a pass play. They'll usually get up and crowd the line on a run. And here, this was a run. And he was called for illegal formation. That was the first penalty of the game. And it came at a terrible time for the Rams. A good time if you're on the Tampa Bay side.
And ironically, he wasn't anywhere near the play.
First and 15. Screen out to Ron Brown. Newberry with the block. Brown won't get none.
You know, that's what really hurts. Pankey was on the other side of the field. He was just sealing down, had nothing to do with the play, yet the play is called back because of that little mistake. So, well, he'll make it up. He'll do some great pass blocking for him. And
Barry Redden and Charles White now in the backfield for the Rams. It'll be second down and 5 from the 31-yard line. Redden and White, former #1 draft pick. Redden of the Rams, White of the Cleveland Browns. On Brown in motion. That was Redden. Tough running, and he's near first down yardage before Scott Brantley, the inside linebacker, makes the stop.
they're trying to give Eric Dickerson a little breather here. That's why Charles White is in there, but he's no slouch either. When Dickerson was hurt and wasn't playing so much a year or so ago, Charles White did a great job.
Dickerson wanted to come out on the field that time, and they called him back again. He was 4 or 5 steps out. They said, come on, back. Take it easy again. You talked about his equipment. He wears those goggles. They say the average football player costs about $800 of equipment to send him out. Dickerson must have about $1,200 of equipment on.
I think John Robinson will pay for it himself.
Guess that right.
Get him on the field if he works, no matter what.
They got the first down. 1st and 10 now. The 26-yard line. Bills to throw. All kinds of time. Almost picked off and then almost caught by Brown. Craig Swope, the rookie safety, was the man who was there to break it up.
Bad timing on this pass because Brown was open, but not. He was open earlier, but by the time they got the ball to him, there were 2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the zone. Almost picked that off, and then it was almost an offensive touchdown. So we're in a situation now of 2nd down.
2nd and 10. Ironically, Tampa Bay has 3 interceptions this year, all of them from linebackers. Not a defensive back has an interception on the Tampa Bay side.
Dickerson's back in the game.
7:37 remaining in the first half. 14-7 Rams our score. Dickerson on a draw. Breaks the tackle by Sully and near first down yardage again. I'll tell you what, he and Sully have had about 6 collisions out there, and Dickerson's won 5 of them.
He certainly has. Ivory Sully's got to be very frustrated because they create the big hole. Here comes Sully's got to fill that gap. If he makes a tackle, it's a short gain.
Straight arm got him again.
That's right. Turns up the field and then dips his shoulder. What a great runner. I guess everybody knows that already, but you're getting a great example. There's 44 on the tackle, and he just slips off. He's so strong in the legs. Yeah. We were talking to him yesterday. He doesn't do a lot of weightlifting, but he does on his legs to keep him, just to give him a little added strength. And it sure is working on Mr. Sully and the rest of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, we'll take a timeout down there now with the Rams on the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 1 for them when we return. Ivory Sully, who used to play for the Rams, told us that he didn't really feel that his ex-coach was giving Tampa Bay's defense the respect they deserved before this game, Johnny.
There were some comments attributed to Robinson in the newspapers, and Sully said he didn't like it seemed like he wasn't showing Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense much respect, so he was a little bit mad, but so far it hasn't helped him to be mad.
3rd and 1. Dickerson back there with Redden. This is Redden. And I think his forward progress will give him the first down at about the 15-yard line. A good tough run and a good hit defensively. Jeff Davis, number 58. But Redden had enough for the first down. The ball is right on the 15-yard line.
He was unhappy here for a while because of so much emphasis on Dickerson, and he was playing behind him, and now he's playing with him, and he wanted to be traded, but I mean, he's getting enough action in a game like today that he's got to be a little happier.
Barry Redden is an excellent blocker. The Rams successful on first down, 7.9. They've got one here. Tyrone Keys, former Chicago Bear, on the stop.
Yes, Tyrone Keys is one of the few players that has a Super Bowl ring on his finger. He played for the Bears last year in a reserve role, and he's playing today. Ron Holmes' knee hasn't come around. John Cannon is out of there. Bob Nelson is in the game, so they're playing with 2 different defensive ends with Dave Logan in the middle. And, of course, they haven't played all that much, and that could be one reason that the Rams are, running the ball a little bit better.
Dickerson got a yard on the last carry. 2nd and 9 now from the 14. 5:54 on the clock. That's Redden in motion. Bills to throw for Redden, and it's low and outside.
Well, the timing has been off for Steve Dills on his throwing. It seems like he's holding the ball a little bit too long and not anticipating where the receiver is going to be. The precision kind of passing, that's supposed to be his strong point. He does not have a cannon arm either. But so far, the passing game has not looked all that sharp. But if they continue like this, they won't need it, as Denver leads Dallas 9-0. Danny White not playing for the Cowboys. He has a sore hip.
Bills 3 for 7 for 48 yards on the afternoon. So out of the shotgun here on 3rd and 9. Could give, though, to Dickerson. And he's snowed under for a loss. Back at about the 20-yard line, the 21, that was John Cannon, the defensive end that you were talking about, Johnny, who came in there and made that play.
That was Logan. Dave
right?
Logan. And Sully got in on that tackle, too. You see 76, David Logan, right there. He made sure of the tackle. And then everybody else came along and piled on. So a big defensive play as the Rams went with the draw on that instead of going throwing the ball or doing something fancy.
Forces a field goal situation. Mike Lansford on. It'll be about a 35-yard attempt. Lansford 5 of 6 on the year. Dills with the hold. Lansford with the kick, and it's good. So the Rams go in front by a score of 17-7 on a 34-yard field goal by Mike Lansford. Alone, Johnny, there's a couple of guys that can help you out.
Well, there's about $8 million worth of quarterback right there. Steve Young, $1 million a year, 5 years, that's $5 million. Jim Everett signed a reported $3 million contract, and he doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to earn it yet, but he's earning it. He's putting in about 12 hours a day and trying to catch up with the Rams offense, and they're hoping to get him in the lineup here soon before the season is over.
Freeman deep for the Bucs. In the end zone, and he decides to come out after hesitating. He's at the 15, near the 20-yard line, and he'll be down to about the 18. So indecision by Phil Freeman. Next Sunday on CBS, those of you out west will see the Los Angeles Rams battle it out with the Atlanta Falcons. Important game for both of them. Those of you in Florida will see Tampa Bay host the St. Louis Cardinals. And some of you will see Buddy Ryan's Eagles in an NFC East matchup with Bill Parcells' New York Giants. It all starts 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific with the NFL Today. That's next Sunday on CBS Sports.
The Rams could go into a tie with Atlanta if they win this game today.
James Wilder back in there now for Tampa Bay. The lone back behind Steve Young. Young to throw. And he's going deep for Carter. Incomplete, just past his outstretched hands, and maybe a ball that could have been caught.
It should have been caught. I don't think it was really even passed. I think it was right on his hands, and he dropped the ball. And Steve Young threw that one about 50 yards in the air, so nobody can tell me he hasn't got a... Boy, that was right there.
Had a step on Johnson at the cornerback spot, and Young had it right on the money.
And that was a first down pass also.
Wayne Walker with Johnny Morris, Anaheim Stadium, 17-7. The Rams lead. Impressive performance so far this afternoon by Eric Dickerson and the Rams on offense. 4:38 left in the first half. 2nd and 10 now for Tampa Bay on the 19. To give to Wilder. Breaks the tackle and struggles for 3 or 4. Wilder with a sternum injury that caused him to miss a couple of games. One of the great runners in the National Football League.
But they're actually running better this year without him getting all the yardage. They've dispersed it around among Springs and Wansley, and they're a little bit more dimensional. There's Wansley on the sideline wishing he could be in this football game, as Steve Young now has a key 3rd and 5. Let's see if they roll him a little bit, give him some options.
Carter in motion from the 24. They hand off to Wilder, and he gets banged around, and he'll be short of the first down. Vince Newsom, the 22.
Well, they went conservative again, trying to fool the Rams in a passing situation as Newsom comes off the field.
Garcia will kick it for Tampa Bay. Mickey Sutton back deep for the Rams at his 30-yard line. Garcia won't angle this one. He can air it out.
Well, he should angle it to the right hash mark. We'll see if he does.
He got a good kick that turned over, point down, drives Sutton back to about the 19-yard line where he takes it. And fumble, but they do it dead. Vito McKeever, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, good special teams coverage downfield with the hit on Sutton.
When he threw that ball out of the end zone, he was, okay, let's take a look at the replay. Will tell us for sure whether he was down or stopped before he fumbled the ball. Boy, that's a tough call.
Looked like he might have out of there before his knee.
Yeah, before he hit the ground. It's a tough call.
53-yard punt that time by Garcia. An 8-yard return, and the Rams maintain possession. 2:59 to go here in the first half. Dickerson and Redden are the running backs behind Dills. This is Dickerson on the toss. Good penetration that time by Chris Washington, I believe, number 51, from his right linebacker spot.
Great play by Washington. He went over the block by Barry Redden and made the tackle. That time he's missed a couple. This time he came through. Now let's take another peek at it here.
This is Sutton on the punt return. You see McKeever in there pulling at the ball.
Yep.
Watch the knees.
It looks like he's already...
Can't see when the ball comes out, really. But you see there that it is out.
That's one of those where the instant replay really wouldn't help the instant replay judges, because there was no definite answer.
2nd and 14. Browner on the hit on the blitz, and he may have ended up with a football. It looked like Browner on the blitz coming from the left side. He made a tremendous defensive play, coming back, sacking Dills, and then also getting control of the football. So Tampa Bay has another break, the 2nd turnover of the game for them.
There's John Robinson thinking, hey, is this going to be a replay of last week when they had some critical turnovers? Here comes Browner as he goes by Barry Redden. Redden didn't make his block, and Browner put the hit on Dills, forced the ball loose, and Tampa Bay has it at the 10-yard line with a big chance to get back in the game. So they put the old blitz on from the outside, and Dills didn't even see him coming until the last second, and boom.
The ball is near the 10-yard line. Now, there's a possibility that they could get a first down without scoring. Wilder's in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 10. Young on a scramble, and he throws it away.
Now there's an indication where you can tell as you look at Mr. Browner, who came up with that big play. Young was supposed to roll out to his right that time. He saw the play was busted, came back to the left, and just threw it out of bounds. Good, quick thinking by the quarterback. That was that little fake action one way, but he was going to roll to the right, but he saw the Rams had made penetration, so now he just takes it and throws it out of bounds. A quick thinker, you know.
Yeah, they work on that. They call it a break drill. Most teams work on that now, where the quarterback starts to scramble and the receivers try to break and get open. Young said, we'd like to work on it a little bit more. It's a big part of a lot of teams' offense, in particular the San Francisco 49ers. 2nd and 10 now.
Look at the big gap over the middle.
Wilder. And he'll get a couple, maybe 3. Jim Laughlin making a hit as we are right at the 2-minute mark in this one. Tampa Bay driving, the Rams leading by a score of 17-7. James Wilder and Ron Springs are in the backfield now for Tampa Bay. It'll be a 3rd down situation, about 8 yards to go. For a first down, they could make a first down without getting in the end zone by about a foot.
The Rams have brought in 2 or 3 fresh defensive linemen. Marv Goo, defensive line coach, likes to change all those Ram defensive linemen around to keep them all fresh from the game. And each one of them has individual talents that fit the situation. So,
and this is a situation where Tampa Bay would love to have the touchdown, love to have the 6 points here, but Steve Young's got to be careful because they are in almost cinched field goal territory if they don't get the 6. 6 defensive backs in there for the Rams.
Here it comes.
Young to throw, and here comes the blitz. Vince Newsom misses him. Young releases. But a good play by Gray. Jerry Gray in the end zone tipped it away from Gerald Carter right at the last moment. Young almost made it happen.
Great play by Young because they put the blitz on him and he was able to get away with it. Jerry Gray made a great play. As you can see, the Rams come all out. There's Newsom. He dodges that and then throws the ball, and Gray at the last second just batted the ball away, or it would have been touchdown USA for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll have to settle for the field goal.
And Igwe Buike with a 26-yard field goal attempt. Steve DeBerg on the hold. The kick is up, and it's good. We have a 17-10 game now. The Rams over Tampa Bay. 1:51 remaining in the first half. 7 minutes in this game. It looked like the Rams might be making a runaway of it. They led 14-0, but then Los Angeles started making mistakes, and Tampa Bay capitalized on a couple of them. 17-10 now our score. 35-22, you see that record. 7 seasons before that at USC, and 5 times had the Trojans in postseason bowl games. Ron Brown at the 5, in behind the wedge, and he's dangerous if he gets a seam. A flag is down as Brown brings it out probably to about the 27-yard line.
Well, this usually goes against the offensive team, which means that the Rams are going to be coming from bad field position. If they have plenty of time to score, I think we might get a good look at Dills.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 91.
Taking the team down
return,
field, and we'll see
down.
how he throws the ball. Unless the Rams go conservative and settle for the for the lead at halftime. But when you've got almost 2 minutes to play, we have 1:46. I think you got to try. You got the ball. You got to try and score on it. They're at the 15-yard line.
Next Saturday on CBS, college football, Michigan State against Michigan. Michigan, of course, 4-0, undefeated this year under Bo Schembechler and ranked number 4 in the country. Arizona also unbeaten at 4-0. They're ranked number 10. Barry Redden and Charles White in the backfield. Now White is the lone remaining back as Redden moves out to the wing. Dills play action screen to Brown. Todd Jones, number 22, is there on the hit after a pickup of about 5. Steve Dills, as Coach John Robinson told us, that he thinks the best thing he does is he knows how to play the game. He knows how to run the team. Very confident out there in what he does.
You know, he was the leading passer in the nation when he was at Stanford, his senior year at Stanford.
Under Bill Walsh.
But he's never broken in, never been a starter.
2nd and 4.
Only when other players are injured has he had a chance to really run a football team. As he looks to the sidelines for the signals, now we're going to see what...
Well, Redden picked up the first down on that carry, so they'll move the chains. We've got 55 seconds left. Coming up at halftime, of course, the NFL Today with Brent and his special guest in the studio today, Dick Vermeil, with all the scores and highlights of today's NFL action. 41 seconds and ticking on the clock. 1st and 10 Rams from the 26-yard line. Out of the shotgun. The hand to Guma. And he'll get just a couple.
Well, the fans don't like what they're seeing. They're seeing conservatism as the clock winds down. The Rams deciding that, hey, they're not going to go for it and make a big mistake.
Well, they probably won't want to snap it again with 17 seconds and ticking on the clock, as you see in the right-hand corner. And Tampa Bay won't stop it either. So we'll end the halftime action with a 17-10 score in favor of the Rams. Scores and highlights coming up. The NFL Today, that'll be next. Stay with us.
Big runner, all that weight that he carries in equipment, it pays off anyway. Eric Dickerson, who has been the difference in this football game, but as I mentioned, 2 big turnovers Tampa Bay has come up with, and that has kept them in the football game. Neither team has passed very much. In fact, Dills is 4 from 8. Young is 2 for 7. So you can see we've got a running football game.
Well, you can tell that they just kind of been feeling themselves out as far as the passing game is concerned. That 40-yard touchdown run you saw by Eric Dickerson made the score 14-0. The Rams have never trailed in this one. The turnovers have been the big thing for Tampa Bay. That's why they are within 7, as the Rams made a few mistakes, and the Bucs, of course, capitalize on those. CBS Sports coverage of National Football League will continue after this message and a word from your local stations. Johnny Morris here at Anaheim Stadium, where the Rams lead Tampa Bay by a score of 17-10 as we await action to begin in the second half. And Johnny, we talked about 2 teams feeling each other out in the passing end of it. As you see Steve Young there, 7 passes for him in the first half, and Dills only 8 times did he throw. Now, I got to get the feeling, Johnny, that whoever's going to win this ball game is going to be the team that throws it best in the second half. I think so, and I think they're going to have to try and take advantage of Steve Young's mobility and on rollouts and the way he is so quick. And I'm sure Lehman Bennett told the team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he said, hey, we could have been down big. It's only 17-10 thanks to 2 turnovers, and we still got a shot, even though over the past few games, Tampa Bay has had trouble scoring points in the second half. In fact, they haven't even scored a point in the 4th quarter so far this year. Tremendous problems late in the game, and it really caused them a loss last week against Atlanta, as Atlanta came back to tie it up at the end of the game and then win it in overtime, as Tampa Bay perhaps went a little bit conservative in that second half, and it ended up costing them. But they won't be able to do that today because they do trail here. Steve Dills getting the start for the injured Steve Bartkowski in this one. If something would happen to Dills, Bartkowski would come in the game. John Robinson told us that Bartkowski can play. Now he's got Jim Everett sitting over there, and he said he wouldn't mind getting Everett in this game too, but that would only be at the end if they were 3 or 4 touchdowns ahead. He said with Everett, I liked his line with young Jim Everett, Johnny. John Robinson said, you know, we're going to take it slow with him. He's going to be like a fine wine. We're not going to open this wine before it's time unless, he said, we get very thirsty. Yeah, well, so he'll change his tune in a hurry, wouldn't he? Yes.
And you can see his career at Purdue was a great one. And he has that strong arm, and he's big. He's 6'5", so he has all the tools that are necessary.
Well, they cost the Rams a bundle to get him, too. They gave up a starting guard, Kent Hill, a defensive end, William Fuller, 2 first-round draft choices, and a number 5 draft choice. But John Robinson said for him it was an easy decision to make. It was something they had to do. They have to start getting continuity at quarterback here in this franchise.
They haven't had that since when? Roman Gabriel probably was the last quarterback that was a starter here for a whole bunch of years. He played here about 10 years, but since then it's been a long line of quarterbacks. So here we go with the football game.
Big games next weekend. Next Sunday, those of you out west will see the Los Angeles Rams battle it out with the Atlanta Falcons. And those of you in Florida will see Tampa Bay host the St. Louis Cardinals. Some of you will see Buddy Ryan's Eagles in an NFC East matchup with Bill Parcells' New York Giants. And it all starts off at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific with the NFL Today. That's next Sunday on CBS Sports.
And the Eagles beat the Falcons today after beating the Rams last week. So Buddy Ryan has turned things around there. So they're a lot better football team, it appears, than people thought after the first couple of games. They actually played the Bears tough, too. Remember that?
Sure they did. He said it would take him a while to learn that 46 defense, and said they went to work for him today because they pitched the shutout. Excuse me, Johnny. The Rams will receive this kickoff to open up the second half. Ron Brown and Charles White deep for Los Angeles. Donald Igwebuike will put things in motion for us and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He squibbed the first one, and this one is a low line drive that's also knocked down by a wedge man. Brown is over there to pick it up at the 8-yard line. He stumbles and is down inside the 15. So a shaky start here special team-wise for the Rams beginning the second half. Steve Dills, who was 4 of 8 in that first half, out there again now for Los Angeles.
And I'll be willing to make a bet that he tries to establish Eric Dickerson once again. That's
Why
a pretty
not?
good bet, huh?
Why not? Dickerson, 108 yards in the first half. He got over 100 yards in the first quarter alone. That's the second time he's done that to Tampa Bay. Dickerson and Redden are the 2 running backs. Redden on a crossbuck behind Jackie Slater, and Slater couldn't find anybody to block for 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, he looked like he had the ball for a while, and he wasn't able to throw, but there was a big hole as they're punching some holes inside the defensive ends all day. Jackie Slater, been around a while.
Pickup of 5 or 6 for the Rams on that effort by Redden. Call it 5, 2nd and 5 now. The ball is on the 19-yard line. Dickerson out of the eye. Had a big hole, but he was tripped up by Jeff Davis, number 58, who got an arm out, and Dickerson usually doesn't come down that way.
What a collision between Jeff Davis and Barry Redden. They came up like 2 freight trains passing in the night, and they just collided, but Davis was still able to make the tackle. Barry Redden is tough. Now watch 30. He's in front. He's going to lead the way. Here comes Jeff Davis, 58. He comes over the block and tackles Dickerson, and he took a hit because Barry Redden did a good job on it, but Jeff Davis just did a better job.
Good defensive effort by Davis, who leads the Buccaneers in tackles. On a 3rd and 2. A hit by Browner. They'll be short now of the first down, it appears, and so the Rams will go into a punting situation. David Hill, we understand, has a shoulder problem. Will probably not return to this one.
You know, that was a big defensive series for Tampa Bay. They have stopped the Rams at what they do best on the run early in the second half and could get very good field position out of this.
Hatcher to kick it. Bobby Futrell back for the Buccaneers at his 30-yard line across the 40, runs into his own man and is down at the 41. Bob Nelson, number 71.
Well, how do you score that one? Is that a tackle for Nelson? In the
46-yard kick.
Statistics, watch Nelson, 71. Here comes Futrell, who makes a nice run, weaves his way through, and there he is, Nelson with the tackle, and down goes Futrell. I'm sure they'll have a conversation on the sidelines before this play is over. And
the best laid plans, I believe that's Futrell that might still be down out there.
Oh, boy.
We'll check it for you and find out and give you the information on that when we return. I'm sure that Lehman Bennett and Tampa Bay Buccaneers will put an end to all those streaks, Johnny, that they've had. Look at that one. It was just a couple of weeks ago that they had 19 consecutive road losses. They broke that streak with a win at Detroit. So they're on their way out of the woods in Tampa Bay under Lehman Bennett, a proven successful NFL head coach at Atlanta. 1st and 10 now for Tampa Bay here. The ball on their own 42-yard line. James Wilder is the remaining back. This is Wilder. Spins forward and gets maybe 3 or 4, but there's a flag down.
They may have called George Yarno on a illegal block.
Pat Haggerty will let us know.
Holding, number 66, offense.
You had the right body, George Yarno.
George Yarno threw an illegal block on DeJournay over the middle. Used his hands a little bit there, and that hurts the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It'll move them back now to about the 32-yard line. That's the first Tampa Bay penalty of the game. It's 1st and 20 now. Carter in motion. This is Wilder trying to get outside. Cuts back in and doesn't get much. Mark Giroux, number 58 on the hit. Number 59, rather, is Giroux. Last week in the second half, we've told you that's been a problem all season long for the Bucs. 67 total yards, just 10 passing. And they led 20-7 against Atlanta at one time in that ball game.
I just think they're not putting Wansley in the game enough. He's not getting enough action.
2nd and 17. This is Young. Almost picked off by Gray. Intended, I believe, for House.
Yes, it was for Kevin House, and Jerry Gray's having to switch corner positions, doing a heck of a job, isn't he?
I bet he is. He's been the starter at the left side, but with Irvin with a shoulder injury, he moved over to the right corner for this game. And has broken up a couple of passes.
There must have been a penalty on the play.
Roughing the passer, number 98, 1st down.
Roughing the passer, that was on Sean Miller, the defensive end of the Rams. You heard the call from Pat Haggerty. So the penalties even out here anyway on this series.
You talk about keeping a drive alive.
Yeah.
That is a critical penalty because they're at midfield.
Where it'll be 1st and 10. 11:55 remaining in the 3rd period. 17-10. Buccaneers trail the Rams. Young to throw again. That's for Carter over the middle, and it's high, and he pays for it. Gerald Carter, who had got 10 passes coming into this game, is one of those guys that will catch the ball. He's tough over the middle, but that one was out of his reach.
Johnny Johnson with the good play. Johnson's one of the guys who lost his starting job, was upset about it. Now he's playing a little bit of corner back in there. Good, steady football player for the Los Angeles Rams. And it would seem to me that you got to start moving Young around. He's not that kind of a quarterback. You've got to move him in a floating pocket. You got to roll him out a little bit. Take advantage of it.
He's 2 for 9 right now as he hands off to Wilder. Wilder spins and takes a couple of good licks and picks up a couple of yards. Now, Young has missed on 5 straight passes now, and they'll bring up a 3rd down situation here for Tampa Bay. A 3rd and 6 as the Rams go to their nickel pass unit.
Now, I think the thing about doing something with the rollout or moving him would give him the added confidence because he does that best. You know, it's just like a receiver. You catch a short pass first and you get used to it, get feels, gives you confidence. The same thing with Steve Young.
Gives the defense a lot to think about, too, when that guy's running around back there. He's back there now with Wilder. Carter in motion. Young in the pocket. Short drop, quick throw to Carter. It'll be short of the 1st down. They'll mark it a completed pass, but it will be short of the 1st down yardage. Jerry Gray again over there on the defensive play. What do you think of that pattern, John, running a 2-yard short?
Well, that's not the way you draw it up on the board. You got to be conscious and aware of the of the first down marker, but also the design of the pattern was not quite really the correct receiver in that situation. So Tampa Bay is not offensively really not doing it all the right way, I don't think, at this particular point.
Garcia has not had a touchback this year. He'll angle this one towards the left side, away from Johnny Johnson if he can. Johnson signals fair catch, and the ball bounces out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. We'll see where they mark it. The official is standing over there near the 5. So a fine effort by Garcia as he knocks it out of bounds just inside the 5-yard line. A 37-yard punt, and of course no return. This is a time now where Tampa Bay, Johnny, might have to take some chances defensively, and with this kind of field position, to force another turnover or two. Next Sunday coming up, a big game for the Rams. A conference struggle against the Atlanta Falcons, who have been one of the most surprising teams in the National Football League this year. 1st and 10 now for Los Angeles. On the 5. Ron Brown in motion. He hands to Dickerson, and look out. He'll have a first down out past the 15-yard line. Why throw it when you can give it to him, huh?
Boy, that's a big run. And you watch Irv Pankey, 75. He comes around and seals the pursuit. See, 75, he's sealing the pursuit off so that Dickerson can turn up the field. And Dickerson is so adept at finding the creases. Now, there's Pankey made that key penalty. Now he came up with a nice play. And, you know, you get those big tackles pulling from left to right. You know, they got a lot of weight to carry.
Kind of like a counter play.
Yeah.
I think he gets out in front of it in good shape on the left side. 1st and 10. Here Dickerson again. It's a lead block from Redden and makes a great cut. Boy, what a move. Craig Swope finally coming over and making a stop. He had Jeff Davis flying by him in midair, I believe it was.
Jeff Davis was tackling some grass that time, or maybe I should say dirt, depending on where it was in the field. Barry Redden, 30's in the front there. He throws his kick-out block, and here comes 58 to make the tackle, and Dickerson just gives him a little swivel hip and turns up the field. Eric Dickerson. Boy, he is great.
14-yard pickup for Dickerson and the first down. Ball now is on the 29.
And you know the thing about Dickerson, he is so adept at not taking the brunt of a lot of hits. You know, at the last, a little slip and a slide, and he doesn't take the punishment that a lot of running backs do take.
So John Robinson called that when he was a rookie. He says he really finishes off his runs. He's delivering at the end of every run. Redden and White back there now as they give Dickerson a rest. .9:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter. That's Redden, and he'll get a couple. Flags are down as we had a problem after the play.
Scott Brantley got into it with somebody there.
Be a couple of them involved, and more than likely be offsetting penalty.
Although the Rams are kind of walking backwards a little further than a normal spot for the huddle.
Personal foul, number 66, offense, on the play.
That was Tom Newberry, the rookie, who won that tough man contest. And
yeah, it didn't do him any good right there.
Of La Crosse.
He gave Scott Brantley a little shot there, and he's saying, what's going on here?
Newberry knocked out 4 all-comers in that event where...
That was in a bar, though, wasn't it? They probably couldn't stand up on their own.
It was in a gymnasium.
Oh, was it? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. They call him, he's so short, you know, he's 6'1", 280. The rest of the Rams offensive line call him Stump Magnum P.I.
I was going to say, if it was in a bar, I could understand it.
Dickerson and Redden. Behind Mills. That's Redden. That's Dickerson.
Boy, how did he slip through that hole? Great running. There wasn't much of a hole in there, but he still found it.
Gets back to the safeties. Swope and Sully had to make the stop.
Watch the linebackers, and there goes Pankey, 75 through there, and he just dips off the block by Pankey. He is so quick for a big man from right to left, at 1 or 2 yards, that quick cut.
Well, he has a distinctive way of picking up his feet, too. A lot of runners going through a hole like that kind of roller skate and glide with their feet. Don't come off the ground very much. But he really picks them up. 2nd and 13 now. On the 26. A hand again to the main man. And he gets just a couple. Jackie Walker, the left linebacker, the rookie, making the stop. The Rams are a different team, Johnny, in games that Eric Dickerson gains over 100 yards. In games that he carries the ball perhaps over 20 or 23 times, they usually win those kinds of games.
Well, they have Young in as one of the wide receiver spots now. They have 3 wide receivers in there, Brown and Duckworth and Young.
3rd and 11, out of the shotgun.
Blitz.
That was for Duckworth, and it was overthrown. Dills is just not sharp today.
The Bucs brought a couple of linebackers and put some heat on, and Dills thought he had to get rid of it a little bit sooner than he did, and he is not throwing the ball all that well yet. The running game's going, but not the passing game, as the Buccaneer defense deserves some credit.
Here's Hatcher to kick it for the Rams. Bobby Futrell is deep for Tampa Bay. He's standing at about his 30-yard line.
He's going to be looking for Nelson, too. He doesn't want Nelson to tackle him again.
He got up and walked off the field after that last time, but barely.
Oh,
the Bucs come after it and almost get it. There's a flag down. Don't worry about what happened down at that end. It's down at the other end where a roughing the punter will be called. They came close. So many of them back there, they knocked each other into the punter.
They sure did. And their direction, you know, you got to come across in front of that punter and take your right angle so that if you miss it, that you don't hit the punter.
And there's flags down at both ends. They threw a flag after the catch, after Futrell's catch, where he was down.
I think Futrell may have called for a fair catch and was still hit. I thought I saw his hand up go up earlier.
Running into the kicker on the defense. Invalid fair catch signal on the offense. Replay it down.
Oh.
Offsetting. That's a break for Tampa Bay.
There you see the fair catch signal. It wasn't what you call the strictest of fair catch signals, but he did get his hand up there, and boom, you know, you can't hit him when he does signal for a fair catch. That is a costly one for the Rams, because they would have had possession, because there was a definite roughing the punter.
A re-kick, and that was Vince Newsom down there on the hit on Futrell. So we'll do it again. Hatcher gets a beauty this time, driving Futrell back to the 20. He gets outside to the 30 and to the 31 before he's forced out of bounds. A 51-yard punt, a 10-yard return. So Tampa Bay will start this offensive possession on their own 31-yard line when we return. Wayne Walker with Johnny Morris, 17-10. The Rams lead this one, but in the second half so far, Johnny, both teams have been spinning their wheels a little bit.
Tampa Bay's defense has kept them in this game. Now it's up to the offense, as Nathan Wansley is now in there. McGee's in the backfield, one of the tight ends.
Wansley's the man you wanted to see. That's McGee in motion, and here's Wansley. Near the first down, he picked up 8 or 9. He'll probably be short of the first down yardage as he gets out there, and Mark Giroux makes the hit. That's what you wanted.
That's right. He's got outside. He's got that quickness aside from the strength. Here's a guy that has a 28 waist. A 28 waist, but he has to order 34 pants because his thighs are so big.
A rookie free agent, wasn't drafted, and was really kind of signed by Tampa Bay as a leg saver. 2nd down and 1 now. He's got the first down and more.
There he goes.
They may not catch him. Where will they mark it? At the 1. Gray made a diving save just short of the score. 58-yard gain for Nathan Wansley, and close to a touchdown. Tampa Bay will have it near the 1-yard line.
And there he is. He's a heavy-duty back, they say, in the way they run their formations, but he's got that speed that he can take off up the field. Good blocking in the center of the line. as Nathan Wansley gets clear. Grimes with a good block, and he just takes off, and Jerry Gray's a very fast cornerback, and he's the guy that caught him at the last second. I thought he had fallen into the end zone. He was kind of, boom, boy, that was close. He stretched that ball out there, but he'll take it down to the 1-yard line. Nathan Wansley gets a well-deserved rest, 10 rushes, 86 yards.
They called it a touchdown. Now, they must have reviewed it from upstairs.
Yeah, I thought that he leaped forward and put that ball where that ball hits.
So they have changed the decision on the field, called it a touchdown. Going into today's game, there'd only been 9 reversals in the National Football League. If there weren't any more today, we now have number 10.
And John Robinson can't believe what's happening, especially the way this game started out. That calling back of Eric Dickerson's second touchdown was a big one. Now, let's take a look. It's once you fall and reach out, that's no good, but watch where his knees hit. One knee.
They said that the ball broke the plane probably as he was going down, but he was touched by Jerry Gray. The extra point by Igwe was good, and suddenly, after an electrifying run by that man, Nate Wansley, we're even at 17 all. Nathan Wansley, a rising star in the National Football League, one of 9 brothers. 2 brothers, George and Otis, have already played the National Football League ahead of him, but they may not have ever made a bigger impact than he has made in a short time. 138 yards against Detroit a couple weeks ago, and now he's got Tampa Bay back in this one at 17 all. Igwebuike's kick bounces at about the 12. It's picked up by Charles White at the 14 or 15-yard line. So the Rams are malfunctioning on special teams the second time in a row. On the kickoff, they've mishandled. We just got word, Johnny, from the replay official, the NFL replay official, that they did rule after reviewing a replay of Wansley's run that the ball did break the plane of the goal line. That's why they called it a touchdown instead of placing it at the 1. The 3rd longest touchdown run in Tampa Bay history. Rookie Nate Wansley. 1st and 10 now here for the Rams. Ball is on the 15-yard line. Dickerson is the lone back. Play action by Dills. For Tony Hunter, the tight end, is thrown behind him, incomplete. The first time today a pass has been directed at the tight end, Tony Hunter. And just a couple weeks ago, John Robinson said, we're foolish if we don't try to get the ball to him about 9 or 10 times a game. Dills is now 4 of 10 for just 54 yards in this one.
And the crowd is getting a little bit restless. Dills had to double pump that time, so the timing was off from the very beginning on that play. As the fans here in this beautiful weather in Southern California, I'll tell you, it'd be hard for the Florida weather to beat Southern California weather today.
Barry Redden joins Dickerson now in the Rams backfield. 2nd and 10. This is Dickerson. Swope on a blitz. Brings him down for a short gain.
Great play by Craig Swope. Well, he came from the outside and wasted no time and got Dickerson before he was able to get going. He came from behind. He's from the left of your screen. Now, you see he's following Barry Redden, but here comes Swope, and there was nothing anybody could do about that one.
Swope, the rookie from Illinois, the number 4 draft choice of the Buccaneers. A lot of scouting combines had him rated as the number 1 college safety last year. 3rd and 8 now. 3 wide receivers in there for Los Angeles. Dills will put it in motion out of the shotgun. Sounds like an audible. He's moving him around, and then he's going to have to take a timeout or face a penalty, and that's what he did. Confusion in the Rams' offensive backfield. Coming up this weekend on CBS Sports, college football. Michigan State against Michigan. Territorial battle, of course, in the state of Michigan. Those of you in Florida will see that one. Those of you on the West Coast will see Arizona and UCLA. Michigan remained unbeaten by winning 34-17 over Wisconsin yesterday. They're 4-0, as is Arizona. Arizona ranked number 10. They did not play yesterday.
And Lorenzo White is hurt too, isn't he? That's going to...
Lorenzo White is hurt, but he'll more than likely, had a slight sprain, be back for that one next week.
And now we'll take a look at some of the scores. New England kills Miami. Miami's defense has gone south. The Raiders beat Kansas City 24-17 after trailing 17-0 at one time. So that's a big win. Washington over New Orleans. The Redskins roll along. The Giants final over St. Louis 13-6. Cardinals have yet to win a football game.
Giants playing good defense.
Cleveland 27-24 over Pittsburgh. It's not a good year for Chuck Noll and the Steelers.
You know that's the first time that Cleveland's won at Three River Stadium. Didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't know that. And
Do
look
now.
Forrest Gregg's got problems. 34-28. The Bengals scored 27 points in the second quarter of that game. And the Monsters of the Midway, 23-0 over Minnesota. They don't miss Buddy Ryan on defense. But
not with that kind of personnel. Right here, we're 17 all. We're in the third quarter. 4:47 remaining in the period. The Rams with the ball, 3rd and 8 on their own 17-yard line. Bills at quarterback out of the shotgun. For Dickerson, and he drops it. And the Bluebirds are out here now at the Big A in Anaheim. They probably want to see Everett, but they won't see him. Perhaps, if this continues, we might see Bartkowski, though.
yes, he's the kind of a quarterback that could take you down the field. He's got the strong arm. He gets hot and cold, and he can complete 7-8 passes in a row. Things are not going well for Dills, and the Rams are not as effective a team when they're behind or tied as they are when they get up on top of you.
Futrell back to take this Hatcher punt. Hatcher averaging 39 yards on the season coming into this game. Gets a low wobbler off. Futrell will take it to 45. Evades one tackler, and he's down at midfield. That was a 37-yard kick, a 4-yard return, and Tampa Bay will start this offensive possession at midfield.
Yeah, I know I need life insurance, but I hate spending money on something I hope I'll never use and won't be around to enjoy if it ever is used.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Allstate has life insurance that pays you for living. Allstate Universal Life. It protects...
Rams sideline, and he's stirring around over there, Johnny, like perhaps he might be thinking about something. Got Jim Everett standing next to him. We've got a couple cold quarterbacks going in this one. You saw Dills' misfortune on the Rams possession. Steve Young is just 3 out of 10 now for 23 yards in the game for Tampa Bay. 3 tight ends in there. James Wilder is the remaining back. That's House in motion. This is Wilder, and he won't get much. So the ball is loose. There's Wilder down. The officials have not made a gesture yet. But the Rams offense is coming on the field, so the ball will be turned over to the Rams on the Wilder fumble.
He did fumble before he hit the ground, and it is the Rams' ball. And a lot of teams are now taking the strategy. If you don't know, get in there and get up there and run a play before the replay judges get involved in here. But James Wilder back in the game, and obviously he's a little bit rusty. He hasn't played too much the last couple of games because of that injury, and trying to get the extra yard or two, and the ball was stripped loose. Big break for the Rams. First down.
From their own 48-yard line. Redden and Dickerson. This is Dickerson. He'll get a couple. Bob Nelson making the start at defensive end today because of the injuries in that Tampa Bay line with the defensive play.
Boy, look what Denver's doing to the Cowboys. 22-0.
2nd and 8 situation here now for the Rams. I still got to believe, Johnny, that the team that gets hot throwing the ball is going to win this game. Bills is 4 for 11, as you see. 3 wide receivers in there now for the Rams. Bills completes it down to the 25-yard line. I believe it was Ron Brown. 89, Ron Brown with the catch at the 25. Did he stay in?
I don't think so. I don't think both feet came down inside. Brown ran an out and up, and it was an excellent pattern. But to me, it looked like when he came down, he only got 1 foot in, and you're going to get a good replay that is going to tell you there's 1, and 2 is outside. It was not a completed pass.
Good call. Craig Swope over there defending. It's a pretty good throw by Dills. 3rd and 8 from the 50. 3:39. We're still in the third quarter. 3 wide receivers once again for the Rams. Dickerson, and he drops it again. drops this afternoon for Dickerson. Usually a reliable receiver.
Kevin Murphy on the tackle. Actually, if he'd caught the ball, he was going to be tackled right there, unless he broke the tackle, but it looked like he was going to be stopped. So the Buccaneers have a chance to recover from that turnover that went against them on the fumble by James Wilder.
A vast difference in field position for them, though. They had the ball midfield, and Futrell is standing back at his 10-yard line now.
They got to get Wansley back in this football game.
See what Hatcher does with this one. Whether he'll angle it out or kick it away. Hatcher kicks it straight in dead center. Futrell at the 10, signaled for a fair catch. He doesn't keep that arm up there long, does he, Johnny?
No, he doesn't. He gives it kind of the old swisheroo. I remember one time against the Rams. Well, I can't tell you that story.
That was a 40-yard kick. You think about it. Maybe you can tell it.
Well, it makes me sound like an illegal football player. Okay.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Rams and the National Football League is prohibited.
Buffalo 7.
Tampa Bay with those points that were put on the board by Nate Wansley, already doing better than average. 1st and 10 from the 11 here. Wilder in the backfield. He gets this on the counter move, breaks the tackle, and picks up a couple. The second series now that Wilder has been in there. He was the one that fumbled the series before. We haven't seen Wansley since his touchdown. Wilder with 10 carries now, 28 yards on the afternoon.
I think what we're seeing, which is becoming evident, and I think Lehman Bennett will come to the conclusion that he may have to change his whole offensive style because of personnel. You tailor your offensive team to the personnel that you have. And right now it's not tailored that way for Young or several other people.
Young on 2nd and 7. An arrow pattern intended for Kevin House, who appeared to be open. There's Nate Wansley.
Uh-oh, he's going to get a shot. He said, I'm going in the game now. Give me that ball. And
well,
Wilder's coming out.
He has been exciting. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their fans.
Anyway, when you have a Wansley and you have a Wilder, you can make some changes, use them both, and get them both in at the same time. At the same time, use Young and his strongest asset, the way he plays football, and you're going to see a different kind of a Tampa Bay team. I think this will gradually happen.
Lee Bennett said we'd see Wilder and Wansley in the future in there together. 3rd and 7 here. This is Wansley. And nothing doing. Sean Miller, the big defensive end from Utah State on a hit. The guy they call Dirt. That's his style of play. He'll get down and get after you. Think he gets the weight room, Johnny?
Yeah, he gets the weight room.
Mickey Sutton deep now for the Rams on 4th down. Garcia will kick out of his own end zone. Rams look like they're going to hold people up rather than go after the punter. Let's see. Poor kick by Garcia. Sutton will take it at the 35-yard line. Fair caught it there after a long run. A 21-yard kick by Garcia, and it comes at a bad time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as he was kicking out of his own end zone.
Yes, and Sutton did a good job. That's a tough catch. When you're running forward into a punt like that,
ball was
very easily
going away from him also.
That's right. Uh-huh.
And we mentioned this earlier. Look at that. When he's over 100 yards, 20 wins, 8 losses. Less than 100 yards for Eric Dickerson. They're an average team, 500 team. Dickerson is back there now with Barry Redden. He's 150 yards already this afternoon. Ron Brown in motion. This is Redden. And Swope on a safety blitz, making the defensive stop again.
Well, he's getting up on the line of scrimmage, and he's kind of messing up the Rams' offensive blocking scheme, because he's coming across the line of scrimmage, and the way you take advantage of that is you try and throw on him a little bit. And you put some pressure on him. But he's getting away with it right now.
Mike Lansford on the sidelines. They're just about at the limit of his range right now. This is Dickerson.
Scott Brantley really came across.
You could hear it.
Scott Brantley just went across 500 tackles in his career with the Buccaneers. He had some shoulder problems last year, but one of 4 really mobile, very good linebackers that the Buccaneers have. Is John Robinson says, what is happening here? Now they have to, you would think, go to the air. Go to the air, 3rd and about 11.
Time running down in the 3rd quarter. Tie ball game, 17-7, 17-17. Shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers. Safety blitz.
Come.
In and out of the hands of Duckworth. Bills had it to the right man and had it on the right spot, but Duckworth dropped it. That must be 6 or 7 drops today by the Rams.
That's a lot of drops. Boy, Craig Swope timed his blitz perfectly up the middle, but somebody straightened him up like anything. But that doesn't change the fact that the Rams dropped the pass and apparently are going to punt. Now, they're down to the 35-yard line.
As we mentioned, that was just about the limit of Mike Lansford, where they were. They elect here because of somewhat of a swirling wind condition down in there. They're going to punt this way.
Well, he'd be better off just to put it nice and high rather than go into the end zone. They don't gain much out of it. So the Bucs are kind of leery of what's happening here.
He wants to drop it in there like a 9-iron, and he does. And it's down near the 5-yard line. So a good job by Dale Hatcher, who now has 5 kicks inside the 20-yard line this season. Next Sunday on CBS, folks in Tampa Bay will see their Buccaneers go against the St. Louis Cardinals, 12:30 Eastern Time. Others in Florida will see this ball game. Buddy Ryan's Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. 2 good defenses going at each other in that one. On the West Coast, it'll be the Rams against the Atlanta Falcons. Wansley in there now with Young in the Buccaneer backfield. 1st and 10 from the 6. Wansley gets a couple. Reggie Doss, number 71, on the stop. Last few seconds here of the 3rd quarter of a tie ball game in Anaheim. Doss, who a specialty player, is in there on 1st down or 2nd down until they get him stopped in passing situations, and then he's out. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score 17-all. We now pause for a word from your local station. Wayne Walker, Johnny Morris, Tampa Bay and the Rams, 17-all. 2nd and 7 from the 10 here. This is Nathan Wansley on the toss, and he won't get a thing. Things continue to go kind of conservatively here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their play selection.
And bear in mind that the Bucs have not scored a point in the 4th quarter, 40-0 against them. And Steve Young is going to have to, the running game is not working all that much right now, but the way they're playing it, they might as well have Steve DeBerg in there because he's the strong arm thrower who sits back in the pocket and throws. They haven't done anything out of the ordinary with Steve Young and take advantage of his abilities. I hate to keep harping on that, but it seems to me they got to do something.
3rd and 9. Young on a draw to Wansley. He breaks it out, but he'll be short of 1st down yardage, and the Buccaneers will have to kick it away. Nolan Cromwell making the defensive play from his safety position, along with Mike Wilcher, the outside linebacker. So the punting unit comes on the field for the Buccaneers. Garcia with a 21-yard kick, his last effort. Kicking out of his own end zone. He's near that end zone right now as he's standing right on the goal line. Mickey Sutton is deep for the Rams. He's at his 43.
Well, the Bucs have had their back against the wall ever since they scored the touchdown. They've been
getting a good job done defensively in this half. Another wobbler by Garcia that Sutton takes on the 45 across midfield to about the 44-yard line of Tampa Bay. Jackie Walker makes the special team hit, a 38-yard kick and an 11-yard return. So the Rams with good field position to start this possession.
I think the thing we have to keep in mind is the Rams were heavily favored into this game. As you look at some of the scores, there's San Francisco 21-14 now, and Dallas has scored against Denver.
Barry Redden and Eric Dickerson, the running backs for the Rams. The best field position to start a drive for the Rams today. The ball is on the 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Bills to throw. And he swings it out to Redden, and it's complete. But short of first down by about 2 or 3 yards. Redden made a good catch on a ball that was low.
Yes, he did, and now the Rams are in a good situation. 2nd down on short yardage. They can do just about what they want. The timing on that pass wasn't really all that good either. He was out there clear much earlier than that before Dills finally hit him. But here's a key situation when you got 2nd and 3 or 2nd and 4. The offense has all the advantage. It's like having an 0-2 count as a pitcher in baseball.
Dickerson moves back into the eye. Bills to throw, and it's complete to Duckworth for the 1st down. Ricky Eastman, the cornerback, and Jackie Walker, the linebacker, defensively for Tampa Bay. 2 completions in a row now for Steve Dills and the Rams, and it's getting the crowd motivated a touch. They've been extremely quiet today.
I believe that's just about the first pass caught by a wide receiver, isn't it? I think that's Duckworth's first pass. They've caught a couple, but the wide receivers have not been much of a factor.
1st and 10 now from the 32-yard line. 17 all. 11:52 remaining in the ball game. That's Duckworth in motion. Play action reverse, and Swope runs right into it. He's made some big plays the 2nd half. The rookie safety from Illinois has been all over the field and has really been timely on his blitzing.
Well, he has really crossed up the Buccaneers. The safety up there on the line of scrimmage coming across and messing up the flow of the Rams' offensive pass blocking scheme. And of course, they were trying to do a reverse that time. So Craig Swope, who missed a few tackles early, along with Sully, has really come on.
Makes it a 2nd and 15 now. Long yardage situation for the Rams. Ron Brown in motion. Bills to throw. This is Redden over the middle. Complete for a pickup of 6 or 7. Scott Brantley with a defensive play.
Okay, you'll see Redden, number 30, come right out from the left of your screen, right over the middle. But it's not a play that's going to get you 15 or 20 yards. And so now they have a 3rd and long situation, 3rd and 11. And we'll see how the Buccaneers play it. Will they come with the blitz, or will they drop them off? Most teams will drop them off and give you the short one. We'll see if the Bucs do that.
Big down right here for both teams. 3rd and 11 from the 33. Slanting to Michael Young. Near the 1st down yardage. Bobby Futrell on a defensive coverage. But Young may have enough for the 1st down, depending on where they mark it.
This is the time the Bucs blitzed. Swope came on the blitz, and Dills did a good job of picking it up and hitting Young to beat the blitz over the middle.
Calling for the measurement. A lot of pressure on those cornerbacks when you blitz your safeties a lot, which they've been doing with Swope, and that time the Rams capitalized on it, run a slant-in pattern to the area vacated by the blitzing safety.
Basically, it's the first time they really have capitalized on it. The first time. They're about a yard short, but you can bet they're going to go for it.
Go for the field goal? That's what they're going to do, Johnny. They've got Lansford trotting out.
Well, let's see. It's going to be almost be from about the 29-yard line, 30-yard line. It's a 40-yard field goal.
About a 40-yard kick for him. He's 5 of 6. Actually 6 of 7 on the season.
Well, if he misses it, they'll say, hey, they had a 3rd and less than a yard. They should have gone for it and gone down. We'll see. We can second guess afterwards.
4th down here now. Steve Dills on the hold. Plenty long enough. And he's got it, and the Rams have a lead. So the Rams regain the lead that they had maintained in the entire first half. 2017 Los Angeles with 9:41 left in the game. The Rams have never trailed in this one. They jumped out in front 14-0 in the first period. Tampa Bay came back to eventually tie it up 17-17 in the third quarter on a 59-yard run by Nate Wansley, but now it's Los Angeles 2017 because of a field goal by that man, Mike Lansford. The wind blows the ball off the tee. 9:41 remaining in this one.
You know, they took the Rams team picture yesterday, and Lansford, who's that, had a mask. He put a mask on. Who's that monster the guy used to turn green on television?
The Incredible Hulk?
The Incredible Hulk. He had an Incredible Hulk mask on his face, and he kind of messed up the picture, I think. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Cromwell comes over. It blows off one more time. They'll probably have someone kneel and hold it for him. Freeman, number 81, is deep for the Buccaneers. A low driving kick that he'll take at the 5. Across the 20. He found a gap. It's on the sideline across the 35 and out at about the 37-yard line before the kicker himself, Lansford, knocked him out of bounds. A 33-yard return by Phil Freeman.
And one of the keys there was that was a line drive ball. It got down there and able to get the horseman out front. And Freeman kept his eyes open as the crease opened up, and it had to be Lansford, barefoot and all. He had to make the saving tackle, and he did a good job of forcing Freeman out of bounds. So the Buccaneers good field position, 38-yard line.
But they still have not scored in the fourth quarter of any game this season. 1st and 10. Wansley in the backfield with Steve Young. It's Carter in motion. Wansley on a toss and won't get a thing. Johnny Johnson got to start today at the left cornerback spot with a good defensive play.
And give some credit to Mel Owens. He came across the line of scrimmage to force Wansley to turn up the field. He knew he couldn't get outside. So let's see if the Buccaneers come up with something a little fancy here.
Wansley lost a yard at 2nd and 11 now from the 37. 8:58 on the clock and moving. Young out of the pocket. A pump fake and deep for Carter, but it's overthrown. Johnson again, good coverage over on the far sideline against Carter.
You got to give Johnson some credit, having to fill in over there at the cornerback spot like that.
Remember what Lehman Bennett told us yesterday, though, Johnny, if there was one area that he'd like to improve his team in, it's speed at wide receiver.
That's right. Well, Kevin House has some pretty good speed, but his production has gone down steadily in the last 2 or 3 years. I think he caught was in the 70s one year and then down to 40s. He's only caught 5 passes so far this season.
It remains 3rd and 11 now. Young again. Protection breaks down and he's down. The second sack of the afternoon. And Young may be hurt. Gary Jeter, number 77.
And Doug Reed was also in on that play as the pocket completely collapsed on Steve Young. And you're vulnerable, especially if you get hit low like that. But it looks like he's going to be okay.
Wasn't much downfield. You got to credit that Rams secondary too. Young had time for a couple looks downfield, but nothing was there. Garcia to kick. Sutton is deep. He hits a good one. Fair catch by Sutton at the 30, and he was revving it up. A 42-yard punt, no return. So the Rams will start this offensive possession from the 30 when we return. Well, Johnny, do you go to the bullpen when you have numbers like this? You see Steve Young over there, and you don't want to discourage him or anything, but look, 3 of 12 for 23 yards. And time is now an important factor, especially when you've got a man like Dickerson who can eat up a whole lot of yards and a whole lot of time on the clock. The Rams lead by 3. 1st and 10 from the 30, and here's Dickerson. Good defensive play that time by Ricky Eastman, the cornerback, who came up and made the stop on Dickerson.
A real key for the Buccaneers has been the defensive backs making tackles. Coming up from the outside, coming down the line, and he takes a dive across here, and you hit somebody low, even an Eric Dickerson, around the ankles, and they'll go down.
He picked up a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8 now for the Rams. 7:56 on the clock. Rams up by 3, 2017. Dickerson is a lone back. He'll get it again. And he'll have the first down. Chris Washington finally drags him down. And that's what you got to worry about if you're Lehman Bennett, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This guy just eating the clock up on you and then putting it in the end zone at the end of a long drive for 6 points, and then your chances are practically. Score 17-all. We now pause for a word from your local stations. Wayne Walker, Johnny Morris, Tampa Bay and the Rams, 17-all. 2nd and 7 from the 10 here. This is Nathan Wansley on the toss, and he won't get a thing. Things continue to go kind of conservatively here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their play selection.
And bear in mind that the Bucs have not scored a point in the 4th quarter, 40-0 against them. And Steve Young is going to have to. The running game is not working all that much right now, but the way they're playing it, they might as well have Steve DeBerg in there, because he's the strong arm thrower who sits back in the pocket and throws. They haven't done anything out of the ordinary with Steve Young and taking advantage of his abilities. I hate to keep harping on that, but it seems to me they got to do something.
3rd and 9. Young on a draw to Wansley. He breaks it out, but he'll be short of first down yardage, and the Buccaneers will have to kick it away. Nolan Cromwell making the defensive play from his safety position, along with Mike Wilcher, the outside linebacker. So the punting unit comes on the field for the Buccaneers. Garcia with a 21-yard kick, his last effort. Kicking out of his own end zone. He's near that end zone right now as he's standing right on the goal line. Mickey Sutton is deep for the Rams. He's at his 43.
Well, the Bucs have had their back against the wall ever since they scored the touchdown. They've been
getting a good job done defensively in this half. Another wobbler by Garcia that Sutton takes on the 45 across midfield to about the 44-yard line of Tampa Bay. Jackie Walker makes the special team hit, a 38-yard kick and an 11-yard return. So the Rams with good field position to start this possession.
I think the thing we have to keep in mind is the Rams were heavily favored into this game. As you look at some of the scores there, San Francisco 21-14 now, and Dallas has scored against Denver.
Barry Redden and Eric Dickerson, the running backs for the Rams. The best field position to start a drive for the Rams today. The ball is on the 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Bills to throw. And he swings it out to Redden, and it's complete. It's short of first down by about 2 or 3 yards. Redden made a good catch on a ball that was low.
Yes, he did, and now the Rams are in a good situation. 2nd down on short yardage. They can do just about what they want. The timing on that pass wasn't really all that good either. He was out there clear much earlier than that before Dills finally hit him. But here's a key situation when you got 2nd and 3 or 2nd and 4. The offense has all the advantage. It's like having an 0-2 count as a pitcher in baseball.
Dickerson moves back into the eye. Bills to throw, and it's complete to Duckworth for the first down. Ricky Eastman, the cornerback, and Jackie Walker, the linebacker, defensively for Tampa Bay. 2 completions in a row now for Steve Dills and the Rams, and it's getting the crowd motivated a touch. They've been extremely quiet today.
I believe that's just about the first pass caught by a wide receiver, isn't it? I think that's Duckworth's first pass. They've caught a couple, but the wide receivers have not been much of a factor.
1st and 10 now from the 32-yard line. 17-all. 11:52 remaining in the ball game. That's Duckworth in motion. Play action reverse. And Swope runs right into it. He's made some big plays the second half. The rookie safety from Illinois has been all over the field and has really been timely on his blitzing.
Well, he has really crossed up the Buccaneers. The safety up there on the line of scrimmage coming across and messing up the flow of the Rams' offensive pass blocking scheme. And of course, they were trying to do a reverse that time. So Craig Swope, who missed a few tackles early, along with Sully, has really come on.
Makes it a 2nd and 15 now. Long yardage situation for the Rams. Ron Brown in motion. Bills to throw. This is Redden over the middle. Complete for a pickup of 6 or 7. Scott Brantley with a defensive play.
Okay, you'll see Redden, number 30, come right out from the left of your screen, right over the middle. But it's not a play that's going to get you 15 or 20 yards. And so now they have a 3rd and long situation, 3rd and 11. And we'll see how the Buccaneers play it. Will they come with the blitz or will they drop them off? Most teams will drop them off and give you the short one. We'll see if the Bucs do that.
Big down right here for both teams. 3rd and 11 from the 33. Slant in to Michael Young. Near the first down yardage. Bobby Futrell on a defensive coverage. But Young may have enough for the first down depending on where they mark it.
This is the time the Bucs blitzed. Swope came on the blitz, and Dills did a good job of picking it up and hitting Young to beat the blitz over the middle.
Calling for the measurement. A lot of pressure on those cornerbacks when you blitz your safeties a lot, which they've been doing with Swope, and that time the Rams capitalized on it, run a slant-in pattern to the area vacated by the blitzing safety.
Basically, it's the first time they really have capitalized on it. The first time. They're about a yard short, but you can bet they're going to go for it.
Go for the field goal? That's what they're going to do, Johnny. They've got Lansford trotting out.
Well, let's see. It's going to be almost be from about the 29-yard line, 30-yard line. It's a 40-yard field goal.
Be about a 40-yard kick for him. He's 5 of 6. Actually 6 of 7 on the season.
Well, if he misses it, they'll say, hey, they had a 3rd and less than a yard. They should have gone for it and gone down. We'll see. We can second guess afterwards.
4th down here now. Steve Dills on the hold. Plenty long enough, and he's got it. And the Rams have a lead. So the Rams regain the lead that they had maintained in the entire first half. 2017 Los Angeles with 9:41 left in the game. The Rams have never trailed in this one. They jumped out in front 14-0 in the first period. Tampa Bay came back to eventually tie it up 17-17 in the 3rd quarter on a 59-yard run by Nate Wansley. But now it's Los Angeles 2017 because of a field goal by that man, Mike Lansford. The wind blows the ball off the tee. 9:41 remaining in this one.
You know, they took the Rams team picture yesterday, and Lansford, who's that, had a mask. He put a mask on. Who's that monster, the guy used to turn green on television?
The Incredible Hulk?
The Incredible Hulk. He had an Incredible Hulk mask on his face, and he kind of messed up the picture, I think. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Cromwell comes over. It blows off one more time. They'll probably have someone kneel and hold it for him. Freeman, number 81, is deep for the Buccaneers. A low driving kick that he'll take at the 5. Across the 20. He found a gap. It's on the sideline across the 35 and out at about the 37-yard line before the kicker himself, Lansford, knocked him out of bounds. A 33-yard return by Phil Freeman.
And one of the keys there was that was a line drive ball. It got down there and able to get the horseman out front. And Freeman kept his eyes open as the crease opened up, and it had to be Lansford, barefoot and all. He had to make the saving tackle, and he did a good job of forcing Freeman out of bounds. So the Buccaneers good field position, 38-yard line.
But they still have not scored in the 4th quarter of any game this season. 1st and 10. Wansley in the backfield with Steve Young. It's Carter in motion. Wansley on a toss and won't get a thing. Johnny Johnson, who got to start today at the left cornerback spot with a good defensive play.
And give some credit to Mel Owens. He came across the line of scrimmage to force Wansley to turn up the field. He knew he couldn't get outside. So let's see if the Buccaneers come up with something a little fancy here.
Wansley lost a yard at 2nd and 11 now from the 37. 8:58 on the clock and moving. Young out of the pocket. A pump fake and deep for Carter, but it's overthrown. Johnson again, good coverage over on the far sideline against Carter.
You got to give Johnson some credit, having to fill in over there at the cornerback spot like that.
Remember what Lehman Bennett told us yesterday, though, Johnny, if there was one area that he'd like to improve his team in, it's speed at wide receiver.
That's right. Well, Kevin House has some pretty good speed, but his production has gone down steadily in the last 2 or 3 years. I think he caught, was in the 70s one year, and then down to 40s. He's only caught 5 passes so far this season.
It remains 3rd and 11 now. Young again. Protection breaks down, and he's down. A second sack of the afternoon, and Young may be hurt. Gary Jeter, number 77.
And Doug Reed was also in on that play as the pocket completely collapsed on Steve Young. And you're vulnerable, especially if you get hit low like that. But it looks like he's going to be okay.
Wasn't much downfield. You got to credit that Rams secondary, too. Young had time for a couple looks downfield, but nothing was there. Garcia to kick. Sutton is deep. He hits a good one. Fair catch by Sutton at the 30, and he was revving it up. A 42-yard punt, no return. So the Rams will start this offensive possession from the 30 when we return. Well, Johnny, do you go to the bullpen when you have numbers like this? You see Steve Young over there, and you don't want to discourage him or anything, but look, 3 of 12 for 23 yards. And time is now an important factor, especially when you've got a man like Dickerson who can eat up a whole lot of yards and a whole lot of time on the clock. The Rams lead by 3. 1st and 10 from the 30, and here's Dickerson. Good defensive play that time by Ricky Eastman, the cornerback, who came up and made the stop on Dickerson.
A real key for the Buccaneers has been the defensive backs making tackles. Coming up from the outside, coming down the line, and he takes a dive across here, and you hit somebody low, even an Eric Dickerson, around the ankles, and they'll go down.
He picked up a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8 now for the Rams. 7:56 on the clock. Rams up by 3, 2017. Dickerson is a lone back. He'll get it again. And he'll have the first down. Chris Washington finally drags him down. And that's what you got to worry about if you're Lehman Bennett, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This guy just eating the clock up on you and then putting it in the end zone at the end of a long drive for 6 points, and then your chances are practically nil.
Well, that's kind of what happened to Tampa Bay last week. They finally the Falcons started wearing them down, getting some big chunks of yardage, and now that's exactly what the Rams are going to try and do. And I think Tampa Bay is going to have to try some filling those gaps with those linebackers, taking some chances, and to stop these runs before they get started.
I agree. Atlanta did it with Gerald Riggs. This is Redden this time. He won't get much. Jeff Davis, the inside backer, who has been a steady force this afternoon for the Buccaneers in there. Rams rushing yards, season average 140. You see they're over that this afternoon, thanks to Dickerson. He's having a big day. Second and 7 from the 45. Bill's taking his time, letting the clock run down on the 30-second clock. It's Dickerson again, and he's just a couple yards shy of another first down.
You know, if you analyze
Solely on the hit. Excuse me, Johnny.
Excuse me, Wayne. If you analyze this, the defense has really risen to the occasion in the second half. They have consistently thwarted the Rams here in their running game and kept Tampa Bay in this game. And now they come up, they're called upon again. A 3rd and 2 situation with the clock still running. They've got to try and stop them here. We'll see if the Rams stick with the run.
4 down linemen in there now for Tampa Bay. That's Dickerson. And he's struggling forward and is very, very close to the first down. This may be another mark.
It depends on the spot where they spot it. It's going to be very close. The marker's 2 yards beyond the 50. So if you see him spot it, looks like he has it. It seems to be even a little bit forward of the hash mark. It looks like he has it.
If he doesn't, what do? They go for it on 4th down in this situation, leading by 3?
I think they would probably punt because of the fact that the Tampa offense has not been able to really get anything going. But I don't think they'll have to face that decision unless my eyes are getting worse than I think they are. I think he's got it made.
Got it by about 1.5 feet. Your eyes are still good. Your hands always work.
First downs, the Rams 17, Tampa Bay 10. 5:37 on the clock and rolling.
And that's critical if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
The Bucs have to take a chance to get them into a passing situation. They've got to take some risks.
Redden in motion to toss to Dickerson. And Browner, Keith Browner, the left side backer from USC, makes the stop. And the football playing Browner families and the football playing Wansley family. Flag was down on that last play, and I didn't see it.
Neither did I.
They call illegal procedure or something against the Rams then?
It would probably be declined if it was.
Illegal formation, offense, declined, 2nd down.
Illegal formation.
The Bucs' last win over the Rams in 1980. They beat them 10-9.
Playing tough.
That's right.
2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers in there now, along with Dickerson. Bills to throw. Out to David Hill to tie it in, and he'll be short of the first down as he's knocked out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain by Keith Browner once more. Look at that, Don Shula. He's usually a guy that can make adjustments, Johnny, but he's having problems this year.
110 yards rushing for George Rogers. Lomax was sacked 7 times as the Giants beat St. Louis. Cleveland over Pittsburgh. They finally won a game at 3 River Stadium.
So the big 3rd down situation here. 3rd and 6 now. 44-yard line of Tampa Bay. Dills out of the shotgun to throw. It's batted away and incomplete. It may have been Nelson, number 71.
I believe it was. I think you're right. He came in there and batted the pass away, and they did what they needed to do, was stop him on 1st down with no gain and put him into a passing situation. And the defense has done it again, giving the offense another chance.
And they've got plenty of time. 4:40 on the clock. 4:45 to be exact. Tampa Bay with 3 timeouts left, so time would really not be a factor for them if they get some decent field position. Hatcher to kick. Trell is standing at his 10-yard line to receive it.
The Rams went into a closed formation. Now I want to make sure they don't get a block.
Hatcher kicks a high spiral. Futrell calls for a fair catch. The ball bounces at the 5, and the Rams keep it out of the end zone and down it at about the 2-yard line. Timely special teams play by the Rams. You can't do it any better than that.
There's a little scuffle going down there on the goal line, but there's no doubt that the Rams got the good bounce on the punt, and they were down there to cover it, and Tampa Bay really in trouble now. Own 1-yard line.
A tremendous hang time on that punt by Hatcher.
Now, see, the ball hit on about the 5. You're not supposed to field it. No punt returner should field one there. And there was the play.
Futrell made the right decision by signaling for the fair catch and getting out of the way, but it was a Rams bounce. Coming up tonight on CBS, the all-new 60 Minutes, Murder, She Wrote, Part 2, and then The Last Frontier, starring Linda Evans and Jason Robards Jr. That's tonight, Sunday night, on CBS.
The biggest hole was in the quarterback sneak, believe it or not.
Young to throw. Flags are down. Complete to Giles out around the 8-yard line, short of the first down, but penalty markers are down all over the field. The 30-second clock run out. What'd you see, Johnny?
No, there was somebody moved too soon up. One of the receivers moved too quick.
Illegal motion. Number 82. Offense. Still first down.
Another tough break for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, this a tough loss last week against Atlanta, but they've lost to teams that are playing pretty well in the National Football League. Atlanta losing today for the first time. They lost to San Francisco, who had one loss, and they lost to Minnesota, who had one loss. So they've lost to some good teams. They may be better than people think, but they need some help here in a big play. As far away as you can get from the other end zone. Wansley. He gets 6 or 7 back. He's a threat.
That was pretty nice yardage for the Buccaneers, considering the situation where they were. They got out almost to the 7-yard line, and they have a second down situation.
And you see the time situation in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. A long way to go. Wansley now with 100 yards on the day unofficially and 16 carries.
The Rams sticking with their 3-4 defense.
2nd and 4. From the 7, Young to throw. Pressure's on him. Complete to Carter. Great throw, great catch. Young paid for that throw. He was nailed as he released.
And so was Carter when he caught the ball by Gray. Because he stretched him out. He had to reach up there, hang on with just the hands, no body to help out, and then take the punishment right in the small of the back. There's the hit on Young, and here comes the hit on Carter, and that doesn't help the back.
Any question about Steve Young's arm strength? He threw that out there on a wire.
You talk about a big play.
1st and 10 now for Tampa Bay. They moved it out to the 18-yard line. 2:56 and moving on the clock. This is Wansley trying to get outside, cuts it back up for a couple. Johnny Johnson, Nolan Cromwell over defensively for the Rams. Timeouts remaining. Tampa Bay has them all.
They've gone into kind of a semi-hurry-up offense. No huddle.
2:29 and ticking. Young again. He'll scramble. And scramble out of bounds and stop the clock short of the first down.
So now we face a key 3rd down situation as Young. He is so quick and so mobile, even with that big old stomach pad that he has, the vest. As Lehman Bennett's got to come up with a big play now, 3rd and about 4. They'll be faced with a 4th down situation and a big decision.
He calls them all himself, as we told you earlier. I got to figure pass here, Johnny.
Well,
there's a long 3.
I think it should be some kind of a rollout.
There's a handoff to Wansley. Did he get it? He may have.
He
with
did.
That last effort over the top of a pile, picked up the first down.
Boy, it didn't look like he was going to get it, did it?
It didn't look good, did it, starting out?
Boy, he kept his eyes open, found a crease, and got the first down. Big play, because, boy, could they have been criticized for that one on the running play.
Winding down to 2 minutes, and we are there at the 2-minute warning. 17-20, the Buccaneers trail, but they have the ball. Stay with us.
Giving that extra effort makes
each other up at the line of scrimmage, but right now Steve Young and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Johnny, going to have to make some things happen. I don't know if they have time to run the ball down now on the ground.
Well, we were right about one thing. It was going to be a close game, right?
Well, we were right about another thing, too. I really definitely feel that that team you're looking at in that offensive huddle is a young team on the upswing.
Well, they could have been really down after losing to Atlanta, and you got to give Lehman Bennett credit for getting them back up. They had a nice victory against Detroit, and then they lost to Tuffy, and it could boil down to that young man here in a few minutes if the Bucs can move downfield.
He's got a strong leg. Nathan Wansley is in there still behind Young at quarterback. Young to throw. Pressure from the Rams. Dumps it to Wansley on the screen. Gets a block. But he'll be short of the first down. Perhaps should have tried to get out of bounds on that one, Johnny.
It would have helped their situation. They still have 3 timeouts, though, to work with. So they have time.
Second and 2. Young again.
There he goes.
He'll run it. He's got the first down. And more than likely, he's going to have to take a timeout and does. 1:21, 1:20. If they stop the clock, they're going to have to reset it because they let about 2 or 3 seconds run off after Young signaled timeout.
Well, they'll have to get bound to around, I would say, somewhere between the 30 and 35-yard line to have a reasonable chance to kick a game-tying field goal. They still have 2 timeouts, 1:19 to go. And once again, his mobility paid off that time. He spotted the opening and was able to get the first down. Lehman Bennett looking at his short list.
And they still have not scored. Look at they're resetting the clock now, as we mentioned. They still have not scored in the fourth quarter of this season.
There's 5 minutes left in the game. No, there's
plenty of time now, huh?
Oh. We know it's got to be less than 2 minutes.
It should be about 1:21, 1:22, I think. Or 1:31. Now I'm confused. I can't remember where it was when Steve... Yeah, there it is, 1:23. I think that's about right. John Robinson seems happy with it.
And he wanted to make sure that clock was put at the right spot. He's been to the playoffs 3 years in a row. Lehman Bennett took the Falcons when he was coaching there to the playoffs a few times. And now we have a thinking game going on. You have a first down situation.
Steve Young, 5 of 14 now on the afternoon, just for 42 yards. Tampa Bay's net passing is just 26 yards. But Young's got him out with a 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line.
The Rams' net passing couldn't be very much more than that. You talk about here we're seeing a pro football game, the best players in the United States, and they have 72 yards of passing, so we don't even have barely 100 yards passing between the two teams.
Wansley, the remaining back. Young with time. Looks for Carter, and it's complete across midfield. They'll have a first down. Good throw. Good timing on that one.
Yes, and I'm sure they had 2 plays ready to go as Young lines him up in a hurry. They're now down, getting close to that field goal range. They don't need a bomber now. They just need a couple of short completions.
Short drop. Got it in there to Kevin House, but House can't hang on. Throwing just a touch behind him and a bit low.
And I don't think House looked back quite in time. The ball was on him before he got a real beat on it. Is Igwe-Bikwe.
Way to go. Donald Igwe-Bikwe. He may be the man of the moment coming up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You do have to be a different personality to be a kicker. There's no question about it. You stand there and you wait and wait and wait, and then everything rests on how you kick the ball. But that's what they're paid for.
He's 5 of 7 on the season. Missed by hitting the upright from 43 yards and then missed the kick from 53 yards. So he's got plenty of leg. And not within his range yet. 2nd and 10. On the Ram 44. Young for Carter. Complete first down, out of bounds, stop the clock. Everything you'd want on the play for Tampa Bay.
That's right. Now, he came down out of bounds, but he was forced out of bounds by the tackler, so you have to give him the completion there. So now they're down to within the range. 32-yard line. That would be about a 50-yard field goal. They want to get a few more yards, get a little bit closer.
Igwe-Bikwe's got the range for that, as you said, Johnny. 1st and 10 again for the Buccaneers.
Boy, they got a man-for-man situation out here.
The bottom of the left receiver down here, bottom of your screen. That's where Young was looking, but he'll try to bail out of there and can't. He's down for a loss of 1 or 2. The 3rd sack of the afternoon for the Rams. And it's another timeout taken by Tampa Bay. So we've got it going here. The Rams 20, Tampa Bay 17, and it's not decided.
Good.
Donald Igwebuike, who could be a factor in this one shortly. But right now, if Tampa Bay has saved any special play offensively, now is the time we'll see it. We talked with them yesterday and with Steve Young, Johnny, and he told us they've got a couple rollouts and a couple dashes where they get him outside the pocket. They've only used him a couple times today, but both times they've been fairly successful with it.
He ran in for one touchdown, and the other time he kind of scrambled and made something out of it. Let's see what
Other than that, he's been in the pocket all day. 2nd and 12 from the 34. The Bucs trail by 3. That's Carter in motion. Young again, straight back. The ball is tipped, and it's incomplete. Doug Reed, number 93, with a hand up. The deflection on that pass.
Lehman Bennett is getting a little excited there. He was yelling out the signals for almost everybody to hear for the next play.
Third down and 12. You see all the numbers you need to see. From the 34-yard line. Here's the dash. Young pulls up, and it's complete. Complete on the sideline to Phil Freeman, number 81. Did he get out of bounds and stop the clock?
Well, they have one timeout left.
They say no, the clock is running, and Young's lining them up. 1st and 10 from the 20. That'll stop the clock. Well, we got what we wanted. You got what you wanted. Get Young out of the pocket a little bit to make things happen, and he did.
He made some things happen, and got to give Freeman some credit for running a good pattern. But now the Buccaneers have one timeout left, 16 seconds on the clock. They're in perfect position. If they run the ball now, they'll probably run a little bit to the right to center the ball for Igwebuike. They can either do that, or they can go for the touchdown, go for a big play, and then settle for the field goal if they don't make it.
I'm not sure they can go for a big play, John. He's got to be careful with it. They can't have it intercepted. If it's not there, he's got to sit down with it and then call a timeout. Out of the pocket. And he threw it away. It wasn't there. He did the wisest thing. Stopping the clock with 11 seconds, and they can perhaps try one more play. That's what he said. One more time, didn't he?
Well, if they're going to do that, they better throw it an out-of-bounds pass or into the end zone or something, because if somebody catches a short pass and runs around a little bit, they would not maybe have time to use their last time out and get a field goal off. So they're now down in the risky danger area.
Looking ahead, if Igwebuike came on from where the ball is now, he would be attempting perhaps about a 35, 36-yard field goal. But that's later. This is now 3rd and 10. Young is down, and the flag is down. They called him in the grasp, and they probably called a face mask.
They may have called a face mask. It looked like his head was jerked back.
Well, I don't know how he came out of that.
He's still alive. I'll tell you what, his neck was really jerked back. Whether it was face masking or not, I don't know. It might have been just from the hit, but it kind of appeared to be that way.
And he bent back like a pretzel there at one time.
Yeah, boy, that was a tough hit.
Face mask. Defense.
I think they're going to have to go for the field goal.
Now they are. Igwebuike comes on with Steve DeBerg as holder. There's the penalty.
Face mask. Defense.
Kevin Green with the face masking. It's a 37-yard field goal.
A swing of the leg. He's got it. We're tied. We've got overtime. 20-20 now. Rams and the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay has never led in this ballgame.
And that's the first points they have scored in the fourth quarter this year. And it came at a timely moment as they tie the game 20-20. And Igwe does the job. Tampa Bay Rams in overtime.
The second field goal of the afternoon. He's now 6 of 7 for the season. None of them bigger than that one. We'll have a coin toss naturally in midfield now as the teams send out their captains. This is so important right here to win this coin toss. Tampa Bay is the visiting team, Johnny, and they'll get to make the decision.
But they've taken some statistics, and you always assume that the
two timeouts.
Let's listen to what's going on.
We'll have a 2-minute warning if necessary. You call a coin in the air, please. Heads he calls. Tails. We'll take the football. We call football.
Rams ball. You saw it. You heard it. It was heads. It came up tails. And we'll be back with the overtime. Stay with us. This is a good one. Buccaneers, they lost last week to the Atlanta Falcons on a Mick Luckhurst field goal. 2020 was the end of that regulation game last week. Luckhurst kicking the field goal for Atlanta on Atlanta's second possession of overtime. It'll be the Rams that get first try here. The scoring drive that was engineered by Steve Young. 17 plays, 80 yards, Johnny. Pretty impressive.
That's taken them a little at a time, and they had 2 or 3 key plays during that drive where they got the yardage that was necessary. So the offense finally did respond late in the game.
Might look back sometime on Steve Young's career and say that was the moment that he turned the corner as an NFL cornerback. Brown and White. This is Brown. He's dangerous. He takes it out across the 25-yard line to the 27 where he's down. So the Rams with decent field position.
Kevin Murphy on the tackle, and a good open field tackle as Steve Dills comes back onto the field. The last overtime game, 1980 versus Atlanta, and the Rams won that one 20-17. So now I'm sure they'll try and reestablish Eric Dickerson, who has not been as big a factor in this football game in the second half as he was the first half.
Had over 100 yards rushing in the first quarter alone. 1st and 10 now for Los Angeles. The ball is on the 27-yard line. It's Dickerson and Redden in the backfield with Dills. Dills to throw. Short drop intended for Duckworth, complete at the 40. And he'll take it to the 45-yard line. An 18-yard gain. Steve Dills to Bobby Duckworth. Rod Jones on the defensive coverage.
So they came out and threw on first down, which they haven't done all that much, especially here in the second half.
Dills is now 10 for 21, 102 yards on the afternoon. Redden comes out. Double tight ends now for the Rams. Dickerson the remaining back. What does that tell you? That's Hunter in motion. That means he runs. Trying to get outside. Browner makes a fine defensive play from his left linebacker spot. More great action coming up next Sunday on CBS. These Rams against the Atlanta Falcons in a Western Conference game. For those of you here in the West. In Florida, you'll see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Or the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. A pair of good, tough defenses in that one.
The Buccaneers defense did what they wanted. They have now put the Rams into a passing situation.
2nd and 13. Redden with Dickerson now. Dills to throw, complete to Brown. He'll have the first down. Again in front of the rookie Rod Jones, number 22. 15-yard gain on this one.
Rod Jones has done a good job, but he's playing it a little bit soft there as they pick up the blitz. Barry Redden picked up the blitz, and here's the hit on Ron Brown, but not before he could get the first down, as the Rams are starting to hit the wide receivers a little bit more now, which they didn't do through the first 3 quarters of this football game. So Dills now responding as Steve Young did when he had to.
42-yard line of Tampa Bay. Dickerson the remaining back on a counter. Cuts it up the middle, and he may go. This may be it. Dickerson will score. The game is over. No flags anywhere. 42-yard touchdown run by Eric Dickerson, and the Rams have won it in overtime. 12:44 remaining in overtime, and Eric Dickerson has put it away for the Rams. The cream comes to the top.
What a game. When you stop to think he had one called back, but he cuts back so nice to the offside of the line. It was a counter play, came back across the line, and Eric Dickerson took advantage of it. Lehman Bennett.
And Steve Bartkowski, who played for him in Atlanta. Eric Dickerson scored in the first quarter a 40-yard touchdown run. And this was a dandy.
We'll take one more look at Eric Dickerson and his touchdown. And notice the fake action. You'll see Dickerson kind of like that comes across, and you see Jackie Slater comes across with a great block.
Look at that move.
Look at that move. In midair, he just kind of slipped the tackle, and the last man was no chance to get him. And once Dickerson gets in the open, it was touchdown USA.
That was an incredible move in the hole. It looked so much better from that end zone than it did from the side here. You really can't see what he did right there.
Well, he actually shifts directions in midair. He's able to jump in the air and come down a yard or two to his right or to his left. And then it's Katie Bar the door. She goes in. Touchdown, Dickerson.
Proving what we've known for so long, that Eric Dickerson is truly special. 30 carries today, 207 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Rams win it 26-20. Johnny Morris, this is Wayne Walker saying goodbye from Anaheim Stadium, and let's go to New York now and Brent